2014. 2750 customer cash from Ford Motor Credit and 5250 dealer discount. Example stock 114 ED4. 1500 bonus cash. 1000 low rate cash from Ford Motor Credit and 2000 dealer discount with approved credit through Ford Motor Credit. Courtesy transportation unit. 131-2024.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, February 1st. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 68. In hour one of today's show, Jake and T-Bob begin their final day of coverage from the Senior Bowl. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Why we get an echo? There we go. Thank you. What's going on? Welcome in. It is our final day here in Mobile, Alabama. We are live at the Senior Bowl. It's rocking along, man. We are closing in on game day. We got practices breaking down. I hope you enjoyed my special on-field report that I gave you yesterday, basically breaking down how the science of scouting works. It's been a very fun time, and I do want to open thanking the MMR company for sending us here. It's been awesome. You can tell I'm a little excited, though. I'm excited to get home, excited to see the kids, excited to see the fam. But first, we got some more football to cover, man. Jake, how we feeling today? That's not your mic. Try now.
Hey, what about
there
now?
There we go. Okay, cool.
There we go. Welcome in. Feeling great. Good decisions have been made all week long. So feeling really good here on our last day in Mobile. Excited to get back out to practice. Caught up with a bunch of players yesterday at Media Day. So, it's always good to kind of get a chance to talk with them, understand their why, what was their goals maybe when they got here. So looking forward to today's practice.
You got to talk to Cody yesterday?
Bro, I already got to follow on Instagram from Cody. We're basically bros now.
Look at that.
We're basically bros.
A little behind the scenes here, and we haven't addressed this in real life yet, so I apologize for doing it publicly first. But I felt like you were actually maybe slightly annoyed when you thought that maybe I had told Cody that you were too obsessed with him. Or did you just not want me to say that you did the thing that I said you did?
Exactly.
Thinking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so it wasn't the bare concept of you. Okay. I didn't tell him that. I just told him that you loved him. I said you were his John the Baptist, clearing the way for the Savior.
No, we had some fun with it. He's a very pretty serious guy, and obviously him being a D2 kid and working his way to, he was in the portal and he said nobody hit me up. And because he rushed for 2,000 yards at D2, and he's like, I'm going to the portal, and I'm just throwing schools out there, probably McNeese State, maybe even at, Louisiana Tech. I'm sure he thought that. He's like, nobody hit me up. He's like, do I go back to Truman or do I walk on somewhere? And he said he didn't even talk to Drink. He knew a player personnel someone at Missouri, and he called the guy. He's like, yeah, you can come walk on if you want. Not even a preferred walk on.
Wait, so I don't – did I know that? He wasn't on scholarship at Mizzou?
Not until this last year.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah.
Again,
so,
another
Drink
story
didn't even
of a guy betting on himself.
Drink didn't really even know who he was. And, the story goes last year, they were getting ready for a bowl game, and he had graduation. And he was going to walk, but he didn't want to walk because he's going to miss a practice. And Drink's like, no, dude, you're walking. You're going to go to graduation. It's bowl practice. We're 6-6 at the Gasparilla Bowl. And this man, didn't broadcast it out there. He goes out because he missed that practice. He's like, hey, can I get a script for practice? He's texting everybody. So apparently he gets a script for practice, and by himself, he's in their stadium, no lights on, going through the practice
There you go.
in full pads, and they happen to have like a recruiting event that night at the stadium or something, and somebody like snuck around, like, what the hell's going on? Like, that somebody broke into the stadium.
Yeah.
And they start filming or whatever, and it's Cody Schrader going through the script
Just
of
mental
the practice.
reps. I mean, no,
that
but
he
like
missed.
physical reps
Yeah,
are on
yeah.
air, but like, okay, this is power. This is what I do. So it's interesting. I was talking to somebody about this last night, but like that right there is the reason why I did not. I don't know what my ceiling would have been, but that right there is the reason why I did not spend any time in the NFL, right? Because that is a level of commitment, a level of buy-in, a level of drive that you have to have if you're trying to separate yourself from all these other great athletes and everybody who's got all this natural ability and natural talent. And that's awesome, man. I love hearing stories like that. And again, it's not done. He didn't do it for the story. He did it not knowing that it would ever get out there, that anybody would be there. It just speaks to he is not going to be denied. And I like betting on those type of guys.
Man, another great one that he gave us. So in the Tennessee game, he had like a bazillion yards, receiving and rushing.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the total was,
It's
but
like over 200 or something.
it was like 270 something. He needed 14 more to set the school record.
Damn.
And so Drink and a couple other people like, hey, go in there, like go get the school record, even though they had already had the game in hand. And he's like, man, I don't want to get that record by going back in a game that we've already won. He's like, I want it to happen organically, and this isn't. I don't want this record to be taken away from whoever had it before because I went back in there when we already had the game won.
Wow. Okay, Cody. Jeez. I mean, it's like the ultimate team guy right there. So it sounds like they say sometimes don't meet your heroes. It sounds like it went very well.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like certainly not a hero, but I think it's just so rare of look, let's call like it is. I mean, there's been 3 white running backs to rush for 1,000 yards in the SEC since 1970. And him and I happen to be, one of them. And so, like, just appreciate his work from afar. And, like, white, black doesn't really matter. I'd appreciate the way he played. But
for the whites, for
but it
whatever
was
we got
Will
some,
Compton. You're the head coach GM. You got some talent coming your way.
Yeah, it's the most I've certainly seen since we've been here. Even though one of my big practice takeaways remains Tavondre Sweat is just massive.
Did you see the rep that he made?
Yeah, when he bowled over.
Oh, my
God. I felt bad.
The center's knees buckled
yeah.
and then just betrayed him.
When I tell you I have been there against Akeem Hicks, I have been there, and it is the worst feeling in the world.
Any mom that watched that video would just think about their child and just –
How about the dude that? How about the UConn center that got into it with Jordan Jefferson? He ripped the helmet off or whatever. Yeah. The rep before that, I don't think he was going against Jordan, but he was going against some SEC guy, and he locked him up. And then he comes off the field, soft ass SEC, bull. Just hyping himself up on basically like, you ain't gonna sun me just 'cause I'm from UConn, okay? Huskies came to play. He's good. I don't know his name. I need to learn his name because he had a really solid day during one-on-ones. I think Charles Turner's done great for himself.
Every rep that I've seen, I've probably seen 8 or 9 like just isolating on him, and I really only saw him lose 1 rep.
Yeah.
He had 1 bad one as a speed rusher, kind of gave him a quick little swim move, and he got his leaning too forward,
Yeah, it happens.
And but that's really it.
No, and I forgot, man. Turner was I forgot he won the Outland. He was Outland Player of the Week for Auburn. He won SEC Lineman of the Week for Florida. So the rise of Charles Turner continues. Did you have any other major practice takeaways from yesterday?
The corner Mitchell from Toledo is the guy that everyone is calling out now. Like he's had a really, really good week. And we were catching – and Ricky Pearsall from Florida's had a good week.
Yes.
And we interviewed Ricky. And Doring's like, hey, is there anybody like you want to, maybe go against? He goes, Toledo.
Oh, wow.
And Doring's like, oh, Toledo? He goes, yeah, corner Toledo. Like, you going like need to learn his name. He's like, nope, Toledo.
What was it? So you could tell Ricky's very confident because I lived in Antioch. They asked, like, what's one thing that you want people to, I guess he was like, remember about you this week or see this week? And he's like, I've won every one-on-one rep. I've won every one. I have not lost. And again, like we said, it's a strong one for the boys this Senior Bowl.
I'm pretty sure I think I saw Will Compton tweet something about it, but I feel like we need to report back to him and give him the scouting report for his team that he's putting together.
Yeah, let's go, Rashard. Where are you at, dog? You got to get down here and assemble your own.
I think he's got a pool to choose from.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. What about quarterbacks? Bo Nix looks like he's struggling a bit. It's been a really it's got to just be such a bad feeling as you feel yourself entering the tailspin, and then it's just it shows no sign of abating. There's no Denzel to invert the bird and land the plane.
Nope. No Denzel here. Yeah, he's not had a great week. The other quarterbacks look like they're on a different level, and I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but like there's been some throws that Penix has made outside the numbers that Bo hasn't
Penix
made.
Is awesome still.
There's been a couple of things, deep dig routes, 18 yards over the middle of the field that Spencer Rattler has stepped up and dotted to the receiver that Bo hasn't made. Even Hartman's made a couple of plays. Hartman's been 70% good, 30% bad, but he's had 70% good.
Yeah.
And Bo hasn't had that. And so it's not been a great week for him. And this was a week that a lot of people thought would be the opposite, that he would play himself into maybe J.J. McCarthy territory.
So I want to stay on quarterbacks. I want to revisit this next segment. There's a debate developing kind of behind the scenes that or not necessarily behind the scenes, but it's like people keep asking me about it, and I didn't even realize that it was an issue, and it has to do with, like, Jaden Daniels. Why isn't he here? Let's get to it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
K2Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. Brandon Barton's been in this game for a long time, y'all. Done started with his mom back in the day, making drapes for some of her friends. He's helping out the business coming up. He's like, you know what? No, we need to go all in on this. And so out of college, he starts doing window coverings. And, well, the rest is history, as now it's well over a decade that he's been helping homes reach their full potential. And you don't even realize the amount of science and information that goes into finding you the perfect answer for your home, how it interplays with the sun, functionally, aesthetically, outdoor living spaces, man caves, whatever. You want K to Z, KTOZblinds.com.
And once you go to the website, you'll see exactly what T-Bob is talking about. Blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, interior, exterior. They can literally do it all. And sometimes if you're like me, you get an exterior shade, you don't know it's going to help you in the interior, but it does it all the time for us. It can do it for you as well. 225-228-0855, KTOZblinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Luke Johnson on the Saints. Do they have an offensive coordinator yet? And Chris Blair talking Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 Thursday, presented by Rouse's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB live from the Senior Bowl. We are here, brought to you by the MMR Group, who sponsored the trip, the largest industrial contractor in the United States, one of the largest companies on the planet, certainly the largest companies we've ever worked with. It's awesome. If you are an intern, somebody starting your career, or a seasoned pro, check out what they can offer you. You want to go to mmrgrp.com. Okay, Jake, Jaden Daniels. Have you had this conversation? Have people been asking you about this?
Sharif actually interviewed me. He said that you were supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, T-Bob bailed on me. So I was second choice, but I was like, yeah, I'll save it for Team OTB here.
Not very, not very tactful on Sharif's part. Generally, you don't let the person know that they were the fallback.
He did.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, I've done a couple hits here, and people and last night I was hanging out with Glenn Gilbo actually, and we were kind of having this debate because a lot of people feel like Jaden could have helped himself here, and I just don't know that I see it. I think if we're doing the risk versus reward math, I'm not saying there's no potential reward or that he couldn't have really impressed people, but I feel like he's already – I guess it depends on how accurate the mock information is, right? I feel like if I'm evaluating these quarterbacks – well, I'm biased enough. I'd go Jaden 1. But, I wouldn't take Drake May over him. Caleb Williams is the only one that I can see, and even then, I like Jaden's intangibles so much that I would put my thumb on the scale for him.
No, I mean, I had, like I said, Sharif asked me that, and I've had a couple of other people, and I say, guys, he played himself out of this game.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I don't mean that to be any kind of disrespect to Jim Nagy. This is a fantastic roster this year. There's 8 to 12 first-round picks here in Mobile. The group of young men they have here is the most impressive since I've been coming to the game.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, interviews have been incredible. I'm like, you're coming to take my job one day. That's how good everybody's been. So I don't want to throw shade at the game, but he played himself out of this.
I don't think it is throwing shade at the game. I mean, the game is very transactional. You come here to increase your stock, and get a
now
better
when he got the invite, you go back and you watch our show the next day. We were fired up for him because at that time he had not played himself out of the game. At that time, he played himself into the game. He wasn't on the Senior Bowl radar really. He was just because Jim, obviously comes and scouts LSU a bunch, but he wasn't invited to the game. He played himself to get an invite. And then he played himself out of the game.
Yes.
Right? He continued to get better and better.
Somebody asked in the chat, this is a good question, I think. When's the last time a Heisman winner played?
I think Baker Mayfield actually
Baker did play. Okay. I know Baker for sure played. I don't know if that's the last.
And that's also, look, some guys.
Jalen Hurts was second, and so that's probably the closest you've had since. Now Penix is second. Penix and Bo Nix.
I mean, and some guys, Baker had a good chance of going 1 overall anyway, but that's kind of been Baker's entire journey has been. I mean, that's kind of in keeping with his personality, right?
Yeah. And not a lot of people thought he was going to go 1 either.
So that's okay. So I don't remember at the time what the kind of consensus was.
They thought kind of, I don't want to say J.J. McCarthy territory, but it wasn't far off. It was early teens, which is great. But then, like, number one was a surprise.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not. He's played himself out of this game. That's okay. He's going to be a top 5 pick. He could have come here and absolutely torn it up, and he was going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Like,
maybe
again,
one slot, maybe.
I don't see that if you already have Caleb Williams graded above Jaden Daniels,
right?
I don't think anything you were going to do here was going to change your evaluation.
No.
And especially not when you still got the combine and you still got pro day and you got like other measurable sort of situations in which you can get more information on Daniels and make this decision. So, no, I mean, look at the quarterbacks who are here. Penix is trying to show that, wait, why in the hell am I, not in that big 3? Like, I should be a first-round talent here. As we said, Nix, unfortunately, it's going the opposite way for him, was trying to show that, no, I'm not just a, like, Chad Pennington, check down Charlie, that I can.
Chad Pennington, good name.
That I can go out there and drive the ball deep, which unfortunately has not happened. Spencer Rattler trying to show, okay, here's what I can do on an even playing field, but I'm not running for my life the entire season. So like every other quarterback, it's very easy to see why they ended up here in
Michael
the potential
Pratt,
games.
I've been at a very good program in Tulane in the American, but let me show I can do it against all these Power 5 guys. And so like he's got a purpose. Yeah, everybody makes sense why they are here. Like they're here for a reason. Those 3 guys that aren't here, they're not here for a reason. And like for Michael Penix, it kind of sucks because I keep talking to people around the NFL. I'm like, hey, sometimes like we fall in love with a player that we cover, and like when I got a chance to cover him Sugar Bowl National Championship, I'm like, am I too close to it? Am I too close to the case? Do I need to turn my badge in here? And they're like, no. Your eyes are telling you the story, but the medical is terrifying people. I'm like,
oh, because it's 2 ACLs.
Yeah, and I was like, he's played 2 straight years without getting hurt. They're like, yeah, but 2 ACLs, a shoulder deal, like he's going to get just the worst. The worst at the combine. He's going to be at the hospital for 16 hours.
That's like our boy Laitu Latu. That's what he's going to have to deal with.
That poor son of a gun. Not poor because he's a giant and he's really good at football and he's a great young man. But
that's the only red flag, and it's the worst. I mean, you ask me what the worst part of football is. It's the injuries.
Yep.
Because it screws over guys that should not be, and I get it. I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, you obviously have to take these things into evaluation, but it just sucks if you're like Latu and you're like, okay, wait, so all I've done is come back from being told I should never play football again and made myself into a top 20 pick, and you're going to say that you can't draft me even though I played for multiple years after that evaluation. It's just it's rough.
I don't know if we've ever really talked about the combine from that angle of injuries, but so you're going to go there if you're Latu. All right, stud, top 15 pick, but you've had this neck injury. And you are going to go into a room full of team doctors, every team that likes you, and a guy like that, like I probably had like 17 or 18 team doctors check me out like in this room.
Yeah.
He's going to have probably 32.
Yeah.
And he's going to sit on a table, and they are going to pull and prod and poke, and it's going to be like just sit there and just pull on his body to see like what hurts. And Bankston was there when I was at the combine for the Saints, right?
Yeah.
And look, Bankston knew he had worked on my knee 3 times. So like he's over there, he's got to protect himself. And so you're working on it, whatever, and they're just pulling. I mean, by the end of it, you're like, it wasn't hurt before, a-hole, but now it does hurt.
I know.
You're
dude.
sitting there pulling on my leg. So you go through that, and T-Bob, that's like an hour and a half process. And so like just so they can feel it with their hands because they're checking off on it, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent, like however they decide to go. And so that's how you start. And then you go to the hospital there at Indy.
I would say he's going to have to do like, CAT scans, is that right? Or like MRIs or whatever?
So I never missed a game at LSU. I missed 1 game in high school, and I was in the MRI machine for 8 hours.
What?
8 different hours. They knew every injury you had. It was the longest day. Like I was in.
That's a lot of blah, 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 blah.
By the end of it, I'm in the machine, and I like panicked a little bit. I'm like, you gotta get me out of here.
I had a little panic. Those MRIs are like coffins. Those MRI too.
And by like hour 8, I'm like, you gotta get me. That wasn't 8 straight hours, so I was like, you gotta get me out of here.
Yes.
Like I'm panicking a little bit. I might freak out. So he's gonna be there. Like Stelz, okay, perfect example. Craig Stelz hurt his shoulder in the national championship game. Like Stelz didn't miss time ever. Like Stelz had been there until that point.
Yeah.
His was like they were worried so much, like he went and did what I did, and then he had to go back to Indy like a couple of weeks later to do more physicals. Yeah, he had to fly to Indy.
Why in
do
Indy?
more? because that was just like where everything was.
Yeah, I guess they have relationships maybe with the doctors,
the
and
hospital
medical staff, and the hospital.
And
That's
so he had to
interesting.
go back, and I'll text him during the break and find out how long that was. But like the medical portion of it in Indy, like it's just another mind, that they're trying to do too. Like they want to see if you're healthy, but like it's 10 to 12 hours at a hospital when you're having the big job interview and you're trying to worry about your 40 and drills and interviews with the teams. It's miserable.
Well,
It's
and
not
it sucks because back to our original point, like, Latu is someone who has cemented and or raised his profile as a top 20 pick.
Yeah, hey, Saints, don't go get, I'm sure the guy from Houston Christian's great.
Jalix.
I'm sure he's great. I bet he's a good guy, good player. Like, if you're going to, take an edge rusher, take that guy.
Bro, but Jalix had the second highest speed for a D lineman.
As soon as I saw it on the board, I was like, should we go ahead and start to really get his bio together for when we have to talk about him coming up in a couple months?
I do like this conversation that Rivers has stumbled upon. I guess there's a Saturday Down South that did this. They put out a list. You're okay. They put out a list of top 5 most impactful,
Most
SEC players,
iconic.
most iconic.
And so I don't know, what the benchmarks are for that how, relative to what you consider iconic.
It's like, again, I know I overuse this, but it's a quote that whenever you got to describe something with the gut feeling, it's like that person who had to try to describe porn in a courtroom, and he said, I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. Okay. So that's how I would say the iconic player in the SEC should
So, so Saturday Down South put the list out. I'll have to pull it back up. I know Tim Tebow was he was number 1. I think who else was on the list?
Cam Newton was on the list.
Cam Newton was on the list.
Joe Burrow was 4. Derrick Henry was 5.
So
we're missing one name.
Who are we missing?
You said Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it went Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, Cam,
Burrow,
Henry.
So,
and I don't know I don't know if they crowdsourced that or if someone at Saturday Down South did that on their own. It's a weird list.
That's interesting, though, because first off, a little quarterback heavy. Second off, that's a recency bias list. Like, I love Bobby Boucher's lawnmower in the chat. He says Herschel Walker, Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, Bo Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, you're just going to leave Herschel Walker off of your list? Yeah. Bo knows Bo Jackson isn't one of the top 5 most impact, like the guy who was a cultural phenomenon. I don't agree with that list.
No, Johnny Manziel.
Well, look,
I mean,
in terms of iconic, I get Manziel being there, but I would not grant him the rank in top 5. I think Tebow Mania probably edges him out.
I mean, what about Dak Prescott in 14 at Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Hey,
what about Jacob Hester?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. What about
So I'm trying to think like
Hebert. Brandon Huff had me on his list.
I'm trying to think of a couple guys. I mean, when Dak was doing what he's doing at Mississippi State in 14, like those were heights that they hadn't been to. They were number 1 in the CFP ranking.
No doubt.
And I just remember there being a ton of buzz around.
I mean, Herschel brought a natty to Georgia though at a time when that didn't happen. Tim Tebow, even though here on this show, like we were kind of talking about off air, we do kind of think of him as a running back who could kind of throw.
Yeah.
He still was a cultural phenomenon.
Oh, it's Tebow time. Yeah.
And him and Urban Meyer teamed up at the exact right time where they were way ahead of the meta, and they kind of revolutionized college football in general, really. Again, Bo Jackson, Bo knows all the ad campaigns. Do you know how much money Bo Jackson would have made in NIL if he was around? He'd have been a millionaire. I don't remember Peyton Manning as much. I mean, I do.
I was old enough to certainly remember it, and
I just remember T. Martin being the one that won the Natty.
Yeah, I remember when Peyton didn't win the Heisman, how big of a deal it was, and I certainly remember it. I mean, like iconic. Like I was Danny Warfel. Like Danny Warfel was iconic. Like we're not talking about the best players. I wouldn't put him on that list, but iconic. Like they were the first team throwing the football. Mm-hmm. And it was Warfel, and it was our guy CD, right, and Steve Spurrier, and Riedel Anthony, and Ike Hilliard, all those receivers that they had. Like Danny Warfel was huge, larger than life when I was growing up.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of recency bias in this list.
That's the fatal flaw.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do modern era, if you wanted to do post 2000, I would say that I agree with that list. But otherwise,
yeah, I'm with you though, T. I mean, like Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson. We're starting there.
They have to be.
And then we're going to figure out the other parts around
I'm not saying you have to put them at 1 and 2.
Right, but they're there
there
though. Yeah, for sure.
I had an all-white bulldog when I was little, and it was named Herschel.
Oh,
he looked
really?
just like Uga,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good little bit there.
Mhm.
How about my bit at Floriditas last night?
Which
when Glenn
bit?
walked in.
Oh.
I do a lot of bits. That's fair.
It's like, which bit?
Yeah, you also did a bit at practice yesterday. I saw.
Yeah, the practice report, the 60 minutes practice report. No, but Glenn Gilbo walked in, and I hit him with the classic, they'll let anybody in here. Which, like, whenever.
He was so pleased with himself.
Whenever you get to drop that, that's just the greatest.
But you know what?
It makes me so happy.
Glenn whipped around. He acted appropriately.
Well, I will say this. The best part is they actually won't let anybody in there because you have to have the password to get in there.
Okay.
Bro, this place is pretty crazy. So it's
Mobile's actually got 10 to 15 pretty cool spots.
Gems. Yes. Yeah, I didn't realize the place you liked the other night was downtown. I thought it was by y'all. That was one of the other reasons why I was locked into WoW. And then I walked by yesterday. I was like, damn.
The place where
right here.
I thought you knew that. I knew that.
The place where I asked T-Bob if he wants to come meet us because you always talk about wanting to have a dinner with Coach Neuheisel.
I know.
And and you're like, I'm locked in this dungeon.
I was running Shadowfang Keep. It's my fault. But
this place was.
So it's in a like
Hancock Whitney Bank.
Yes, a giant bank building. And you go past the security guard. You go down some random hallways.
You got to go down a stairwell.
Yes.
It's unmarked.
Unmarked stairwell. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this giant man, Roosevelt, who come to find out was a member of the 92 Alabama Natty team, played in the NFL, Senior Bowl guy. And Roosevelt is sitting there. And again, this has just been industrial hallways up to this point.
Yeah.
And Roosevelt is sitting there, bookcases behind him, Cuban, like fedora on, like all this Cuban accoutrement out of nowhere. And you give him the password, he radios, and then the bookcase behind him slides open. And then it's just a Cuban explosion. I guess it's based off of the original La Floriditas in Cuba. And it's where, like, Hemingway used to hang out.
His favorite bar, yeah.
So, yeah, so they have all the drinks were great, the food was great. It was the coolest spot I've been to. And
I'm going to say something. I don't mean it to be disrespectful to Mobile. I just didn't know they had enough people downtown to make all these cool little spots work.
I mean, we were the only ones there.
Right. Yeah. It was well, and so the worst part was this. So we sit down and they're giving us their spiel, and they're like, look, and if you're around tomorrow. Every Thursday night, we do salsa lessons. We clear off the tables. We do salsa lessons. I've never seen anyone so crestfallen. Look at this. He would have been T-Bob's dream.
5 to 7. Perfect time, too, Get in there early, have some fun, learn some salsa.
I would have done it.
I've always wanted to learn to salsa. My guy, Van Vo, who owns Little Wars, shout out Van. He's the only person that's ever taught me any salsa. But it was just a simple step. I don't know.
They also have live music there, I think on maybe Fridays, but they had the perfect stage for live music.
It was cool.
It was a cool place.
It was a very cool place. And really good drinks and food. Again, not just getting by on the
speakeasy.
Yeah, not just trading on the bit, if you will. But again, they won't let anybody in there.
That's right.
But it looks like they will. All right. And yes, I did get too drunk and, of course, end up tweeting my wife.
Yes, first thing
videos.
I saw this morning.
And
Olivia was bringing me into work, and I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. I know.
Look, but T-Bob was ready before me this morning. He was up and at 'em.
Well, you never have to worry about that with him.
Sometimes you have to worry about him sleeping.
Let's see. There's been what?
It's been a couple. There's been a couple flirtations.
Was it
with
media
disaster.
day in Atlanta?
In
I know y'all had one when Jordy was on the show.
No, with you.
It was me?
Yeah, Hoover's got rough.
Remember, he comes rolling up it was at the college football.
That was Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that was Atlanta. Yeah, he comes rolling up the escalator.
I'm like, all right, here comes a 10-minute monologue. It's coming. And then we see T-Bob with like 10 seconds left.
Fighting for my life.
But
we hoot and soaring here on this Thursday,
so we're
boys.
hollering.
Ryan Smith and Chad says T-Bob and Jake when they realize Mobile's cool. Well, let's be clear. No. we've been massive Mobile advocates.
Yeah.
I just love that the city continues to reveal itself, and every year I find new spots and new
Right.
cool dives and new things to
Yeah,
explore.
This year I
probably
didn't go
one
anywhere
re-
that I went any year before.
There's probably one restaurant, yes, that we've been to twice, and it is
Squid Ink?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
Squid
and
Ink
we've been
shrimp.
there twice. But otherwise, we have eaten it somewhere different every single time
I
we've
think
gone out to eat.
and I have gotten that Debris Po' Boy.
Oh, okay, that's true.
I
That
love
place
that
was.
po' boy.
We did lunch though.
Solid,
Yeah.
great lunch po' boy.
Ooh, T-Bob got turned down. Didn't have his ID.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Did you do your phone?
Yeah. but
They don't
take it
accept those in
here.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Guys, technology's a little late.
Come
here,
on.
you know?
Come on. What's
It'll
going
get
on
here.
here, dude?
It'll get here.
All right. When we get back, when T-Bob showed up with no pants on in the OTB studio, might be the best ever. I forgot about that. that was a bad one, for sure. We're feeling great today.
What was
though.
that?
I can't remember. I was just on one. And
Was it after a Pelicans game?
I don't remember why. Yep. I think it was when. Yes, I think it was when I drove. Yes, I was literally in the casino.
Is that when you were at Harris
at
until like
3 a.m.,
3? Yes.
And then I was at the show, and I did the whole first segment without pants and revealed it to the audience at
did.
the,
Yeah, I
at the
remember
end of
that
the
now.
segment. All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play. Looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in wash scent beads.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. We are creeping closer to baseball season. Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball joins us, and the latest from the Senior Bowl. Join us for Thursday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, live from Senior Bowl. You heard the big voice guy, brought to you by the MMR Group. Yeah, there seems to be some debate about Mobile in the chat. Look, I can't recommend enough if you're looking for a little weekend getaway. I think it's a ton of fun. I'm just bummed that we get a bit teased by Mardi Gras every year, but we never actually see it. Like, people started to roll in yesterday, dude.
I couldn't even park at our hotel. We had to park in a garage because there were so many people getting here for Mardi Gras.
Yeah. $50 too.
Yeah.
Hey, $50 for the garage?
Yeah.
Olivia told me about that. She was not happy.
No.
And it was like one of those sliding scales, like when you had to pay. It's a sliding scale of like 1 to 24 hours or whatever. No matter where it was on the scale, it was 50. So it was either 1 or 24. And
that's a lot.
That's a
lot of money.
Yeah. Yes.
But there were people like coming into the hotel with their coolers, and there's porta potties everywhere.
A lot of old people.
A lot.
You know, like a lot of old people that still like to party. You can tell, but like, hell yeah, dude.
One thing
Octogenarians.
that T-Bob and I talk about every single year and do not do and still have not done is go to the rooftop bar of our Holiday Inn.
Yeah, Skyview Lounge. Supposed to be
T-Bob said he saw it on a list of things that you should do in Mobile.
And y'all's
we
hotel?
still haven't done
Yeah,
it.
we've never
There's a
done it.
rooftop bar.
Yeah.
They don't advertise very well for it.
There's like one sign in the elevator.
I only stay there one night a year, the night we first get here. So
And
I
you
know
didn't
it.
see
I know it a
anybody
little
either.
bit.
I know.
I just know that finally one year we're going to go up there, and it's going to be probably the coolest place we've ever been, and we're going to be so furious that it took us this many years.
You can't be cooler than Las Floraditas, so I don't think.
I think you just like saying that.
I'm not. I do enjoy saying it, but no, I was sucked into that place.
I think when you first sent it to me last night, like where you were going, you said Floridians, I thought.
You
it's
corrected
possible.
it. You know, you never. I mean, look,
Then it was all caps for a while.
I was very excited, and I desperately was trying to get Joe there.
He got so
right
excited.
In front of the door, so I wanted the door to slide open, and then we were going to be sitting there drinking hand, like, come on, like a movie,
like his montage.
Yeah.
No, T-Bob. So we
we
get in there. I've never seen T-Bob so excited. So we do the secret staircase or whatever, and we get down, and we open the door, and we see Roosevelt, the guy.
Yeah.
Before Roosevelt can say one word to us, T-Bob's like, Cubano!
Yeah, that's the password.
And the
For
guy
last
was like, all right.
Yeah, he was like, hold on now, slow. He's so cool, man. He's like, hold on now, slow your roll, man. It's all good.
So then
Welcome to Florida.
we get in, and before they can even seat us, T-Bob's like, we sit anywhere? Where do we sit? Where do we sit? And she's like, oh, God.
It was great. It was great.
It was.
All right, Jake, this is I don't – okay. There's been talk in the scene this week about college football experiencing a brain drain, right?
Yeah.
And here you have Jeff Hafley, who leaves Boston College to become Green Bay's defensive coordinator.
Right.
And a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, my God, like this is this is what's going to happen more and more because it's so hard to be a college coach. The schedule's so insane. Like, you're going to see more of this. And people just keep saying you're going to see more of this, and it's almost like a threat to, like, things have to change. Otherwise, this is going to be disastrous.
Right.
A couple of these will happen. The reason why I'm not panicking, though, is there's not that many jobs to go around.
There's only 32 teams.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you lose Jeff Hafley, maybe you lose a couple other guys, but, like, no, if anything, it just sucks if you're someone trying to break into the NFL now because everyone's trying to get up there.
Yes, like all these college coaches. I had somebody, I forget who I was with, and they're like, oh, going to see it all. You're going to see it more often. I was like, yeah, but it's going to have a cap to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's not just unlimited jobs for these cats.
You're not going to have, let's go random school. Purdue's coach go be a receivers coach for the Baltimore Ravens.
No.
He ain't leaving to do that. Like, coordinator would be the bare minimum.
Yes.
Right? And again, like 32 teams, 64 of those jobs, one on each side. There's not a ton of those to go around. And there's T-Bob, there's what? A handful of college coaches that the NFL would trust in that role anyways. You know, that's another portion of it.
Which is also a great point because,
so.
it's about managing a program and less just being a schematic genius. And already you're seeing, like, I mean, look at the youth movement, right? I read a great stat earlier. So, and we could probably get into this further, but Mike McDonald, who's had just a meteoric rise. He is now the youngest coach in the NFL, head coach.
Yeah.
He's the Seahawks' new head coach. He's 36 years old. He barely just beat out 37-year-old Gerard Mayo. How about this? It comes from Chris Branch. He does a great article in The Athletic every morning called The Pulse. Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, 72 and 71.
Yep.
McDonald and Mayo, a combined 73. So, like, your pathway to getting that job isn't through college anyway.
Right.
So, I don't think that, look, the ship of Theseus will roll on. I don't think college football's in any trouble.
No, I mean, they got to figure some things out. No question about it, T-Bob.
Yeah,
but they're not,
for
like,
sure.
in trouble of losing all of their coaches. Like, athletes at Boston College. There's challenges at Boston College.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to keep up and continue to do the dance. Like, he won a bowl game this year. Maybe he's like, this is it. This is the ceiling. I'm going to go coach the defense for the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to have a couple of months off to go to the lake in the offseason.
All right, when we get back, let's wrap up hour number 1 of OTB live from the Senior Bowl.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Okay, if you need windows, doors, or siding, you want to go to GoTommys.com. That's GEAUX, and Tommy is, of course, TOMMYS. GoTommys.com. You will see the difference clearly. Shout out to y'all. Talking to Tommy. The leads are rolling in. Excited y'all are getting to talk to him, see the business, touch it, feel it. And remember, at Tommy's, I'm not even telling you to just trust me wholesale. Make Tommy's one of your 3 bids for the project, okay? Put them in the mix, and let them prove it to you why you should be working with Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding.
That is GoTommys.com, GEAUX, Tommy with a Y, GoTommys.com. And T-Bob's exactly right. You can find testimonials right there on their website. You can check out galleries of what they've done for others right there on their website, and you're going to be blown away once you meet the crew. Energy's incredible. You're going to be happy with their service. We promise you that. Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. GoTommys.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB wrapping up Hour 1. We are live in Mobile, Alabama. Just chatting up with Executive Director of Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy. Does an incredible job here. Again, the rosters that have been amassed this year are unlike anything we've ever seen. You know, like we keep mentioning, we've interviewed Big Nerick Award winners, first-team All-Americans, Heisman finalists, Lombardi Award winners, Cody Schrader, which I guess actually that'd be first-team All-SEC? First team?
He's first-team All-American.
He was first-team All-American.
It was him
that's on me.
Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Shout out, dude.
I thought Cody Schrader plays in my mind like he was more my size. Am I wrong? Like, was I the only one that thought that?
You're
maybe?
saying he's smaller.
Yeah, he's 207.
Yes, I agree.
He looks like he's 220.
I agree.
On the field.
His body type is similar to yours. He's just a little slighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it just missing the Hobbit parts of me.
He doesn't necessarily have the dwarven proportions that you do with the giant hands and feet.
Yeah. That's fair.
What size shoe do you wear?
12 and a half.
12 and a half?
Yeah.
Hey, me too, dog.
Yeah.
What's up, dog? These are 12 and a half. You want to check the tag?
I believe you.
Look at this, huh?
I believe you.
Huh?
Yeah, you're 6'4", though.
Chill out.
And those are high heel. You're trying to get 6'5" in those.
Yeah, well, these are my orthopedics.
Yeah.
Actually, I love these. These are Brooks Running
Like
shoes.
you would
They're
think that
fantastic.
I would have those shoes on, and you would have these on.
Speaking of weird body
Are you
proportions,
talking about Pat
this is not the
Mahomes?
full picture, but have you seen the picture?
Have you
This the
seen it?
full version of this photo?
Yeah.
I did not think it was real.
No, it's the gut is actually aggressive.
But he responded to it.
Yeah, he said dad bod. He said, "Why you
yeah.
got to do me like that?" Dad bod season.
Yeah, it's a January bod in the NFL.
Yeah, fair.
Get a little winter coat. It happens to all of us. Hit me back in May.
Here's the deal. Look at Brady's body. If you want to be a beast quarterback, you don't have to.
You don't have a January body.
You don't have to have a good body. You just got to be able to know
Brady's
where.
got a good body.
Not
Nobody
always,
was playing,
though. Not when he was playing. Like
certainly at the beginning.
The beginning.
To become immortal, yes, he had to
sell his soul
get his
and,
nutrition to the nth degree.
Okay.
But for a lot of times, Brady was just kind of like a regular ass looking dude.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, exactly, right?
Okay.
If you can sling it, if you can know where you're supposed to go with the ball, and if you can put it there, you can do it. What is shocking to me is that Pat Mahomes is that athletic with that body. Because, he can run and move and manipulate, but
quick twitch, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like Brady and Manning don't. So he's got some of that functional strength going on. But, yes, it was very funny watching the internet put DK Metcalf and Pat Mahomes next to each other and understand that Pat Mahomes is actually the far better football player.
I was walking by. So Dennis, my producer over at SiriusXM, was with me, and we were walking on the field. And Robinson from Missouri walked by me, and I just look at Dennis. I say, "Can you believe that we played the same sport?" Like, this guy looks like he was just made in a lab, like chiseled. 6'4" at least. 280
yes.
and
No,
not
he's
an
a
ounce
freak.
of fat on him. It's like we play.
Hey,
Like, we
but
did
somebody-
the same thing.
Somebody yesterday told you look like you could just jump back out there.
Let me tell you something.
who said that?
Matt Miller, ESPN's main NFL draft guy, basically said that it looked like I could go out there and still play, Jim. He said it. He said it. Jim, he said it. I'm just saying.
If you want to put something together, Jim, he'll come out there and show you.
Jim, can you play in the Senior Bowl twice? Everybody gets an extra COVID year. Can you get an extra Senior Bowl year?
I was just watching because
saying.
I think in my head, like, I could line up and do a play, and then I'm watching one-on-ones, and I'm like, I think my body would shatter. I would get hit with a club rip, and my bones would break, and my knees would be immediately hurting.
If I saw Sweat
Too
from
light
Texas,
in the ass now, like.
if you saw Sweat from Texas
my
lined up in front
God,
of you,
dude.
what would you do?
Cut him. I mean, duh. No getting. They tell you to stay up. Not here. Okay. I'm going low, and I'm crab crawling his ass like high school football when you used to go against the cats that would just be at your knees all game long.
Yeah.
No, real talk. I don't know how I would try to drop my ass, but it just would not. I don't think I could stop a Devontae Sweat bull rush to save my life.
I don't want to put names on it, but like yesterday, he was disrespectful to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's not just his size. Obviously, that's nothing without speed and power. Yeah. Like, Terrence Cody was huge, but Terrence Cody wasn't that strong.
No.
He was fast, but he wasn't that strong.
Hey, I know we're coming up on the break
like
here.
5 seconds.
Okay. We'll hit it.
Moving
later.
to hour number 2. Keep it locked right here, OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Uh-oh, guys. Guess what? AccuTemp's got a brand new pun for me to get into. So January deals are done, okay? But it's February, which means love is in the air. And so are incredible deals with AccuTemp's free brewery event. A little unwieldy, but, we like it. This month only, you receive a free surge protector with a new whole home generator plus $1,500 off, okay? So you get that whole home generator right now. You get your peace of mind and everything. You get a free surge protector. You get $1,500 off. So schedule your free estimate today, okay? And look, if it's AC, if it's heating, you already know AccuTemp service to the highest degree.
Go to the website, AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com, and you can check out all the things that they can do for you, like what T-Bob just told you about. Also, get your appointment scheduled today. Go to the website, top right corner of the site, schedule it. They'll probably beat you home like they have done for me before as well, AccuTempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, February 1st. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 68. In hour 2 of today's show, we continue our Day 4 coverage of the Senior Bowl in Mobile. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? T-Bob, Jake, Rivs hanging out with you here live in Mobile, Alabama. Shout out Senior Bowl for playing host to us. Shout out to the MMR group for bringing us out here. Shout out even, shout out to Alondra doing a great job producing back home. And shout out even to Taylor producing back home.
So when we were having our most iconic SEC player conversation, I just kind of saw it. I said Dak Prescott because Mississippi State had never reached those heights.
Yeah.
Like and it was a big deal. They were number 1 in the initial CFP rank, and Ole Miss also was really good. So remember how hot like Mississippi college football was. Sports Illustrated covered the whole deal. So I said,
oh my gosh, I drove around Baton Rouge and collected every Sports Illustrated that I could find.
So I said Dak Prescott, and Taylor immediately said he could not be in this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Taylor, hush.
Classic, dude. I mean,
Classic.
Taylor doesn't like Deion Sanders. How smart can he be? He's a Cowboys fan that doesn't like Deion.
That's like being a Bucks fan that doesn't like Mike Allstott.
That's just dumb.
It's like being a Saints fan that doesn't like the Cajun Cannon.
That's what my old the old high school basketball coach told my buddy Taylor when he went to dunk it and it went off the rim. He said, "Hey T, it counts as 2 either way." Dumb. That always stuck with me. I don't know why. Look at this. My mom just texted me. I am crying. I am laughing so hard at your meat video. Literally 5:30 in the morning. The cup of coffee so good. Thanks, Mom.
It was y'all.
Katie, I was talking to her right before I went to bed last night. She goes, "Oh my gosh, T-Bob's meat video was hilarious." I was like,
that came out very well.
But I said, do you wonder like he thought about laying on that pad and being in the middle of a Senior Bowl practice at all? She goes, absolutely not.
No, I mean,
that was the thing that I filmed that for T-Bob.
Shout out Ribs, yes.
Well, no, but that's not even, it's like, I was the most impressed by the fact that T-Bob put little to no thought into it. Like, those words came to him. We did more than one take only once, and it was when we were trying to get someone in the background and people kept walking by.
Trying to get McConkey.
Yes, and somebody
kept blocking McConkey.
People kept blocking him, so we kept having to do the shot. But other than that, it was like one take. He nailed it.
Are you now one take, Jake?
It was. I was talking to Rivers about it. I would love to do more stuff like that, but it's weird, man. The creative muse is an interesting thing. Sometimes it just like you're just like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And then other times, I don't know. Then other times you try to write something funny and you just have nothing come.
I mean, I could tell though, like he did the first shot, and I saw that, I could tell he was doing kind of like a newsy bit, and I was like, man, this reminds me so much of Keith Morrison, and I've been pleased. Everybody keeps commenting about how he's like Keith Morrison from Dayline.
Shout out Jerry Molinaro. I was very happy to hear that from him. Daniel Basham, were you sure that was Teresa texting T-Bob, or was it Danny texting from her phone?
Oof.
Danny or Daniel, I'm gonna put you in a 5-minute timeout if you if you do that again.
Well, the other day I asked you, I said, where does Danny live now? And you said, I don't really know. Are we sure it's not Malibu?
I think he posed too many New Orleans cocktail bar.
I think that's home base. Like,
for like
stop, pit
yeah.
stop. But
wow.
I mean,
Daniel might really need to get a timeout. He says, sultry riv, ... Dang, we're blessed this morning. Where's the sheriff? Sheriff hasn't been here in a while. Somebody get him out here. All right. Yeah, the video's on Twitter if you want to go check it out. Pump of the Numbs. And also, hit the like button.
I don't like
I didn't like that either.
What?
I was thinking
I've never said it before. I thought it sounded good.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Nums is
Pump the Numbs? I think it sounds awesome,
I hate
actually,
that.
dude. I'm going to start saying that constantly now.
Jake's face is exactly how I feel.
He's gonna
So
wear
much.
that out.
If you want to see Jake's face, youtube.com/1045ESPN. Hit the like button.
You can
Subscribe.
kind of see it.
Also, I think we're pretty well
Y'all
lit
look
today,
really
actually.
great today.
Yeah, we finally figured it out. Also, subscribe to LSU, OTB LSU, and OTB Saints as well. Jake, we never got to Tennessee yesterday, and I wanted to talk about it, but Tennessee's under investigation. The NCAA is saying that they're about to accuse someone who is affiliated with Tennessee but not employed by Tennessee with breaking rules regarding NIL payments. And this is all about, essentially, obviously, Nico Iamaleava's contract, which is fascinating because they own his rights.
Him.
Like we talked about,
Yeah.
so they pay him $8 million, $2 million per year. Any NIL deals he gets goes back into the Tennessee collective. Even if he were to leave Tennessee, that money would go back there, right? So they kind of slap some golden handcuffs on him.
If you want to slap some golden handcuffs on us, we're available.
Exactly. Oh God.
Sorry.
Good. No, I mean good for these cats. That's all I'm
Yes.
going to say. There's a lot. I've caught a lot of ancillary whinging about the modern era and players getting paid, and I'm just like, miss me with all that, dude. I love these cats making money. Hell yeah, everybody get theirs. But now the NCAA is trying to come to Tennessee and basically saying that this is wrong. You're breaking the rules. They tried this with Florida, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And even then we said this is like them just walking up to a room of people hanging out, kicking someone in the nuts at random, and then looking around and daring somebody to do something. The key difference here is Florida probably wants them there because that gets them out of a potential $20 million buyout if they can get Billy Napier for cause.
Like, are you sure? We have receipts. We will show.
Tennessee's going to go to the mat.
Yeah, they are.
Chancellor Donnie Plowman set the tone yesterday, calling the allegations factually untrue and procedurally flawed. And the thing that we have to remember in all of this, and by the way, everybody's already attorneyed up. They are well defended on that front. Tom Mars,
the Attorney General for
Spire.
Tennessee's like, all right.
And you're going against, because again, in this modern era, there is nothing more bipartisan than support for the local college beloved sports team. And so you are going to go against the actual politicians in Tennessee as well. But here's what we got to remember. And this is where it could get dangerous for the NCAA. The law is not on the NCAA side in any way.
Right.
In any way whatsoever. And this has been the case ever since, and there's actual cases that you can point to, but really it's been the case ever since Justice Kavanaugh sent that letter pillaring them, saying that, look, in any other facet of American life, what you do would be flatly illegal. There's antitrust issues here. And so, to me, you know the meme where it's one tiny domino and a giant domino? It almost feels like this could be the domino that starts, this is the kind of cataclysmic cake. Is this the thing that starts the beginning of the end for the NCAA? Because if they go to public war with Tennessee, I firmly believe they will lose. Like Michigan decided to do the math. You know what? We're in a national championship run. We don't want to rock the boat. We're going to take it on the chin and keep moving. If they do that to Tennessee, Tennessee ain't going to take it. They've been sucking for too damn long, and now they finally got a little hope, and you're going to try to come steal it from them? So I don't know what the hell the NCAA is thinking, but they could be spelling their own doom.
They could, and it's not just Tennessee. I mean, Virginia has also joined Tennessee. And when you start talking about, this isn't like, little attorney down the street that's got, a one-room office. This is the Attorney General of Tennessee, right? They're going to the full force of what they can do, they're going to do it, right? And that's the deal that the NCAA has to realize. If you come after LSU, you don't think those Louisiana politicians love LSU?
Boy.
You come after Tennessee, you don't think they love their Vols, right? You come after whoever, right? Whoever. Like
Again.
Alabama, you don't think that. So they're going to do whatever they got to do. They're going to win. They have better lawyers than you do. They can outman you. They can keep this thing going for as long as you want. You're going to eventually run. You're gonna be like, look, we ain't got no more money. We can't be in these legal battles.
Yeah. Well, and there's again, like there's no they just don't have a leg to stand on. And I know I think Andy Staples made this point. It's a good point, but like if you're the NCAA enforcement office, yes, you have to justify that you exist, right? Yeah. And so it's like you have to try to do some of these things. But the problem is it's just like they're closing their eyes and throwing a dart at random. And that's one of the core arguments of Tennessee is you don't just get to selectively choose when everybody has very clearly and publicly and legally entered into these same exact deals throughout the country.
Right.
Like this was a template that many other collectives and everything else have gone on to use as well. So I think, and you know what else is kind of funny about the situation? If we think back, Tennessee was where Florida was at, and they essentially weaponized the NCAA to get Jeremy Pruitt out of there, which, again, as Andy pointed out, maybe the NCAA feels some type of way about that.
Yeah.
But they don't want to get Josh Heupel out. They love Josh Heupel.
Right.
And I'll be damned if they didn't watch Nico Iamaleava put up 36 against a damn good Iowa defense. And look, we paid that kid $8 million, and now we got the other 5-star from Tennessee committed. You are not going to take us down. And so I don't know what Charlie Baker's thinking. I think his regime up to this point has been an abject disaster. Which, I mean, again, I don't know how it could be anything
I was about to say,
unless he was being willing to be more forward-thinking and revolutionary.
Yeah, I don't know Chuck personally. I don't know the job that he's doing, but I'm not sure that anybody could do anything any different. Like the NCAA is something that is going to do great when they just have Olympic sports to worry about.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They're gonna be great, and they can even worry about college basketball. They have the NCAA tournament. That's great. It's successful, but you're about to lose football.
That you have to.
You're about to. I mean, it's about to happen.
And you talk to people in the business, all the big movers and shakers, and it's, there's a rumbling, an undercurrent. It's like you're on the ice and you hear those kind of creepy ice-breaking noises, knowing that, like, a crash is imminent. I don't know the timeline on this stuff, but I do feel that it's inevitable. And here's the other deal, is that no one, maybe save for if you're beholden to some like more old school notions, or if you're like a coach who's just stressed out by the whole thing, who wants it to change? Like, college football's better now. More teams are good. More teams are exciting. More teams have opportunity. Like, if you're going back to the old, again, all you're saying is that, okay, you're going to allow the superpowers to be even more powerful. For once, the superpowers are being chipped away at a little bit. And I don't, like, from a pure spectator enjoyment standpoint, I think we're in a golden age of college football right now. So I don't think Tennessee's in any trouble here. I think that they will easily win this if it goes to court, and I think the NCAA needs to tread lightly.
I mean, we just saw the national championship team have a guy dress up and go on someone else's sideline and steal signs and signals.
Yeah.
And the NCAA didn't feel like they had any power in that case.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just one thing that Connor Stallions did.
And, yeah, the other thing was refurbishing old vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, I forgot about
one of the odder parts of that story.
Yeah.
30s, the HOA got mad at him because he had like 30-something vacuum cleaners on his front porch.
Yeah. You can now get a cameo from Connor Stallions if you want to.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm sure he's racking.
Shout out Connor, dude. Shout out Connor.
Or cameo.
The Connor Stallions fantasy football cameo market is about to be huge.
Yeah.
Everybody's
just
gonna be
playing the teams that they beat, like Michigan fans, like send this to my buddy who's a Penn State fan or a Ohio State fan or whatever.
Shout out. But But yeah, none of the law. I mean, bro, the NCAA can't even stop people from transferring unlimited times anymore.
No, they can't do
Like,
anything.
what
They can't do anything.
What are we talking about?
They're the governing body that doesn't govern. You can't do anything.
Emil says he disagrees that more teams have opportunity in this era. I would need you to expound on that because, I mean, literally with a 12-team playoff, you have more teams.
Yeah, we just had TCU in a national championship game.
Yeah.
We just had Washington in a national championship game. We just had San Diego State in a national championship game.
I mean, you just had 4. The SEC nearly got left out of the Final Four.
Yeah.
Like,
probably should have.
Definitely should have, in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah.
So no, I thought this was going to lead to more of a concentration at the top, but what I've now realized is no, we've already been at the concentration now. And granted, I'm not saying that it's like all the way spread. You're still going to have probably like your real 15 teams that it's actually realistic for, but it's still more realistic than what it has been, which is maybe like 4 or 5. But it is early. It is early in the returns, and we will have to see. Wow, Bilbo Baggins says college football is certainly not better. Again, how? I mean, what is? How? I don't understand. Teams no longer get hamstrung by screwing up quarterback and not having one until they suck all year. Instead, now they can get a decent guy and they can be pretty frisky. Teams that don't win now traditionally are rising. How is college football not better when the matchups are more competitive? We're now getting conferences where, like, LSU's going to play 10 of 12 Power 5 games next year, featuring USC, UCLA, the SEC slate. Was it better when it was just Nick Saban every year to the championship no matter what? I'm going to have to agree to disagree. I think we're in a golden era.
And I brought up San Diego State. You can't talk about college football and not talk about college basketball because college basketball is also a big revenue-generating sport.
Yes, and it is the NIL sport.
Right. So, NIL affects basketball as much as any other sport, men's and women's. And so, with all the changes going on around college athletics, San Diego State making a national championship, think about all the tournament runs that we've seen. And it's been great stories until the Sweet 16 or maybe the Final Four. Maybe you get there. But, we had a Final Four that had FAU and San Diego State in it. And I think that's, you can correlate that with all the change that we have in college athletics and there being more parity. Look at college basketball this year. I don't know how much y'all pay attention.
I've just seen that the top teams keep losing. The number 2 team lost again last night.
And just continue. UConn, when healthy, is probably the outlier there. But outside of that, there's parity all across college basketball. Duke doesn't dominate anymore. UNC doesn't dominate. Kansas loses games they shouldn't all the time. Kentucky does the same thing.
Ryan Smith says Group 5 is only getting 1 spot guaranteed. Yeah, they should. The additional spot from the dissolution of the Pac-12 should just go to another bid school. More schools invest in good basketball program football because it's more affordable. Yeah, that's fair. But again, guys, I want your opinions. If you are someone saying that college football is less interesting now, I need to know why. Emil says, I do not think college football expanded to 12 teams means the sport won't be hyper-regionalized. I don't expect to see more G5 programs in the playoff. No, there'll just be one. But no, college football is always going to be hyper-regionalized, right? If anything, the way to grow it is what they're doing now. It's with the democratization. But it's always going to be a bit of that because certain areas of the country just care more than others do. Okay, look, there's some good conversation here. During the break, give me your takes on why this is broken, why this is bad, and we'll bounce off him coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyota of batonrouge.com. That's the website where you can schedule your service. All makes and models welcome. Doesn't have to be a Toyota. Doesn't have to be from All-Star. If you need somebody that's going to get your vehicle right, whether you get in an accident, it's like an insurance claim, or it's a simple service checkup, you want to go there. And if you mention OTB, you get $100 for that deductible.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today. And we tell you over the last couple of weeks because it seems like there's always breaks for the kids and they're not in school. So if you have a trip planned for that break, remember you can rent that Toyota today no matter what you're wanting. Full fleet is available, something bigger, something better on gas mileage, whatever it might be. They've got you covered. Buy new, lease as well. Again, full fleet available and everything they do over at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. We are live in Mobile, brought to you by the MMR Group. Let's get some of these comments here. Jeff G says, T-Bob, college football isn't amateur athletics anymore. Pay to play is not much different from professional sports. Yeah, but I mean, you know, I don't think when you look at the investment, the TV audiences, the contracts, how much are put into winning on Saturdays, I don't know that it's really felt like amateur athletics since like since we've been in the 2000s. I can't speak to the 90s as well, but I feel like it's been on this upward trajectory where it hasn't been that. And so this is more of just I just feel like we're more honest about it now, that we're finally paying the players just up front. And it's never been a level playing field. I see some people wanting like a level playing field. Okay, here's one comment I wanted to get to. Donnie Jake says, you're only looking at the schools that benefit from it. What about the smaller schools? We lose all their good players to the bigger schools. That's where it hurts. But that water flows both ways.
Yeah.
You also have good players who are buried on rosters, go to smaller schools and go ball out. Look at TJ Finley at Texas State and what he did this year. That knife cuts both ways.
I interviewed Miami of Ohio's head coach, and they made a bowl run. They had a great season. I think they won 9 games. And we're asking him kind of those questions. He goes, look, we lose players. He said, we do. We lose players that are NFL players. He said, we get them for 2 years. He said, you know what, though? Once other players see that the 2-year guy that we had is an NFL player, he built like himself here and then went somewhere else and then got to the NFL. He said, we get kids because of that.
Yeah.
He said, we get kids from other schools because like, hey, yeah, they started their foundation at Miami of Ohio, built to whatever it was, went somewhere for a year, and then ended up in the NFL. He said, I'd be lying if I said we don't benefit from our guys going somewhere else bigger and going to the NFL.
Well, it's like, you don't think Braden Fisk has done some we've talked about Western Michigan multiple times this week because that's where he developed before becoming a 5-star in the portal after a few years, playing this last year at Florida State and becoming an All-American. So, I think that what was it? Bilbo says TJ Finley wasn't good enough to continue to start in the SEC. Good for him to transfer. Sad that he didn't want to try and to stay and try to get better. I think that's unfair. I think TJ Finley tried multiple times, right? I mean, he did pretty well at LSU as a freshman. Got beat out. He goes to Auburn. Doesn't work out there. And then I think he's made the absolute correct decision for himself, guys.
Bless you.
Oh, bless me. Sorry. Bless you. Thank you. So I don't think there's anything sad about what TJ Finley did. I feel like he made a great decision to go play. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Jeff G says, if that's the case, bypass college and have semi-pro sports and stop wasting taxpayer money for state school facilities. I don't understand what this obsession with amateurism is. And it's not like the athletics program is funded by taxpayer money anyway, right? Like, if you have problems with LSU being funded somewhat by the state, well, that seems like a separate issue from the professionalization of college football.
I don't think it shouldn't change the viewers' minds as far as, like, watching the games and how entertaining the games are. Like, they're still going to school. Like, they're still, like, enrolled in your favorite school. Like, some of the things have changed behind the scenes, but like, that's not like watching football this year. I never thought about Jaden Daniels making money in NIL.
Bilbo Baggins says 80% of schools are bound to never sniff the CFP. Again, another thing that I don't think is crazy, right? Why does the NFL work? It's 32 teams, and that's very easy to keep track of. It's very easy to kind of know who's who are the major players. Who can really threaten for championships. I think that's good for growing a sport from a spectator standpoint. I think the beauty, though, if you really love college football, Jake, is that now, and maybe we get the eventual break off Super League, right? But now you have that NFL feel. But I still loved watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl between NC State and Kansas State doing battle.
Yeah.
A freshman quarterback stepping in for the Wildcats and finding a way to in his first start get the win and make people excited about the future. Like it's the same thing that when people say, oh, yeah, they're complaining, players don't care about bowl games. No. The only bowl games players don't care about are the two that used to be BCS but aren't the playoff that year, right? Like the two of the New Year's Six, whichever two are not the playoff, yes, those are the bowls. But the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Cheez-Its Bowl, all these other games – rely questions. Like,
Deuce
players give a
Bowl.
damn. Yeah, players give a damn, and it means something. And so, like, just because a team isn't going to win a championship doesn't mean I don't want to watch them on Saturday. I love watching the mid-level battles take place. I love, I'm not going to go full sicko here, but I know many of you love to watch like Hawaii at midnight and stuff like that. Like, So I think we kind of have our cake and are eating it too right now in college football. And that you have the major superpowers that are getting very, very close to feeling like a true semi-professional league, and you still have that classic college football madness where everybody's like, oh, my God, turn on WVU Houston right now. There's been like 3 back-to-back-to-back insane drives, and it just ended on a Hail Mary touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we have teams that are celebrating, like Missouri. Missouri going 11-2 last year, that will be celebrated for a long time.
Yes.
And they're in the SEC. They're in the biggest conference. But still, that is going to be celebrated for a long time. There were so many people that cared about Missouri football and what they were doing this year. And so, we'll have stories like that. Look what Ole Miss is doing right now. We're talking about parity. Ole Miss has never been here before.
Yeah.
They're here now because it's changed a little bit. And so, for those Ole Miss fans, they just saw their first ever 11-win season.
Yeah.
Which is wild. The first time they've ever done that. And it's because of the changes we've had in college football. So, even teams in big conferences are doing things that they've never done before. They have the ability now. They have access to be able to go out there and change the narrative of their football program. I mean, Ole Miss hasn't been nationally relevant in how long? I don't even know. We clown them for having
Johnny Vaught, probably. I guess,
we clown them for having the 2003 SEC West champion banner up when they didn't go to Atlanta, but that's all they had.
I mean, it would be right. It'd be since the 50s or the 60s.
I'd throw to Rivers. I don't know
because that's when they were winning 10 games. That's when they had or maybe going 10-0.
Sure, Archie Manning certainly had some. Yeah.
But
I know during my time they were horrible.
Yeah. Mine as well. Bilbo says, T-Bob, I think what people and he says, I think what people fail to realize that NFL fans have a major hope that it's their team's year, while college football fans just want to see how far their team can go outside of the top teams. Yeah, I think that's fair. And that's where college sports, when you talk about LSU, South Carolina outdrawing all those NBA games the other night. That's the beauty of college sports because it's like a cult. You have passion for the brand, and so you want to see that brand succeed no matter what. So, when LSU went 5-5 in 2020, I was still living and dying on every play and loving that season. It got some of my best memories from that season, despite the fact that was a team that had no championship chance. But I still liked watching the big boys fight as well. So, whatever. I mean, this was a tangent. I didn't mean for us to go down this road, but I think it's I think we're in a very cool spot right now, actually, for college football. I mean, Rivs, do you have any perspective here? And I do not mean this as a slight.
I'm going to be super honest. I have not been listening.
I'm just talking about the fact that what it's like cheering for a team that is not going to threaten a championship.
Yes, I was literally not listening. Phrase the question.
So does it
what
take
is it
away
like?
from your enjoyment
No.
that that Mississippi State is not really going to win a championship?
No. I think I was talking to the CEO of Walk-Ons we met yesterday.
Yeah.
He's a South Carolina fan, and we were just talking about
South Carolina knows that struggle. They're worse.
Yes.
They're way worse than Mississippi State.
But we were both talking about how we still show up and tailgate, and we have
Yep.
fun, and we enjoy just being a fan and supporting our school. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all I've ever known. So
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know any different.
And
it doesn't make me love Mississippi State less, obviously.
And that's the beauty, again, of college athletics. It's why the PMAC and also Coach Jay Clark and company just put on a great product, but it's why the PMAC is filled with 15,000 people for women's gymnastics.
Right. Yep.
It's why baseball gave us such incredible memories. Greg says, T-Bob, why would the players enter into CBA, limiting their NIL money and transfer opportunities? Because they would get part of the TV revenue. So eventually I feel like both sides are going to have to give up some things for the administration side. That's just what I'm going to call them, for the man side. That's going to be allowing them in on those TV deals. And from the players, it is going to be accepting a more codified rule set and maybe some handcuffs on, okay, no, you actually have to stay here for this long, or no, I don't know if it's a salary cap or something. Even though, again, salary cap doesn't solve it because you can't cap advertising, right?
No.
So I don't exactly know what that would do either. But I think they would enter the CBA because they would be afforded some protection, too, from, like, bad agents, bad contracts, things like that as well.
That's what, that you got to protect them a little bit, because within the CBA, like, you have to be certified, approved by the NFLPA to be an agent, a financial advisor, and it would help some of the, the underbelly of people out there trying to get in these kids' pockets.
All right, so we'll get away from that, but thanks for the convo, y'all. That was a fun, holistic look at the college game as it stands now. We still got Munchies coming up with Chef Michael Johnson, and got a little bit of LSU recruit news to get to. So keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Centralplumbing.org is the website, and 925-8552 is the number. If you need somebody who's going to give you flat rate pricing, great warranty coverage, whether you need a fix or you're looking for like a bathroom remodel or upgrade, you take advantage of the place that's been doing it for 50 years. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, certainly not only in emergencies, T-Bob, like we talk about every single day. If you're looking to upgrade, they can come out and help you out at your home or your business. So if you own a big business, as you'll see on the website, everything is ready to go. No job's going to be too big. But if you just have a small job at home, it could be just a guest bathroom. Maybe it's your main bathroom. They can certainly come in and help you there as well. Water heater replacement. Like, you can get a new water heater. You can also go tankless. Never run out of hot water again. Always have it. So you get home late, it's okay. Laundry, dishes, shower, all the things. And you can have hot water throughout that entire process. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, live here in Mobile, Alabama. Brought to you by the MMR Group. Thank you for having us here. Thank you to everybody hanging out the Bayou Ford YouTube chat today. There's been some really great conversation going on. Speaking of recruiting, Jake, you know what's something I don't want to. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but something I did want to give some credit to is I feel like we did segments on this LSU recruiting class being, and I'm talking about the 2024 class here, being very solid.
Yeah.
But not necessarily great. But there's been moves since we covered this class, and I still love all those original takes, right? Like when I see how it's built through Louisiana 4 stars and 3 stars and the amount of in-state flair and identity that this class has, I do believe I see echoes of the foundations that every national championship team at LSU has been built upon. We said there was a lack of star power. Well, that is no longer the case, right? Not after you get Weston Davis, not after you get Dominic McKinley. You now have 2 consensus 5 stars. You have a 3 according on 3. And so the point is now you have a class that is ranked 7th in the entire country according to the On3 industry rankings. And if you just look at On3's rankings, Jake, they're actually number 3 in the entire country. And so I just wanted to point that out and give credit. And they host Bussy yesterday, the number 1 athlete in the country, who's decided between LSU and Texas A&M. I mean, if you land him, you might end up as a consensus top 5 class for 2024. And that's not even getting into the 25 class, which continues to be incredible. So I already loved this 24 class. I just wanted to take a minute or two to point out that they've there's really no way to attack it now. And how they've constructed it. This
was
is
it like 12 or 13 when we started talking about
it,
really?
Yes, and there was a little worried about, do you have the money? And some of those concerns have abated. Though you talk to people behind the scenes about the LSU money situation, and it's really tough to get a beat on what's real or not because people are all over the place with it. But whatever, the results are very good right now.
They are. I mean, like you said, top 7 is great. Like you're going to, be in the blue chip ratio that y'all like to talk about, and you're going to be exactly where you need to be with all those other teams around you. Texas, it's there. T-Bob at number 6, and obviously we talk about how talented Texas is all the time, right? So you want to be in a position where you're right there near them. And so when you look at what they were able to do to close it, to be able to – because there was one point they didn't have any 5 stars in this class. And so to get to kind of have some crown jewels of that class, they've done a really nice job. And maybe, just maybe, it's not over yet. So they've got enough talent in this class to be able to go out there. They're going to play some young guys. They're going to have to play some young guys. Like spring practice at the defensive tackle position, I don't know how you're going to get it done.
Opportunity is there. I don't know how they're going to get it done either, man, because it's funny. I'm like,
you got like 3.
I'm thinking does Boston College have any D linemen? Right? I mean, you're kind of looking wherever. Are there? Is there? Do you just need bodies? At this point, DB's a bit more interesting. Because I think you have a lot of high potential guys there.
Yeah, you've got enough guys that I think have done it, and guys that you're excited about where it's not going to be as deficient. Defensive tackle, you literally don't have the guys there.
That's really the only negative mark of the offseason, and it's been an incredibly kind offseason at LSU from a headlines perspective. The only negative mark, in my opinion, is just that you let Mekhi Wingo and Mason Smith get out the door. Maybe that's out of your control, whatever the case may be. But
I felt like Mekhi was I'm
Whoa.
But, yeah,
Whoa.
sorry, they just rolled by like
was
giant boxes worth of Reese's, and I was just picturing them put them in my fridge and then my belly.
I was actually just thinking about how last year, or I guess all the years past, they've had these like little stands with the candy on them all in this hall, and I haven't seen any candy this whole time.
Maybe that fella's, not doing his job
who's
well.
got the candy.
Is
Maybe he's supposed to have it out Monday. He's like, oh, hey, I got all this boxes of candy. My bad, guys.
Maybe Reese's big money donors are backing out right now,
Oh,
right?
man.
Maybe they're not liking their NIL.
This is where I fill up
return.
on my gum for the year. They
used to have gum out too.
They have like I don't know what Reese's owns, like which gum brand that they own, but whoever owns.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
yes.
but I'll stock up every year, and I have like 4 containers in my car that I just
that's
go
weird.
through.
I never even realized that was a thing. I've never engaged with the gum economy of the Senior Bowl before. But
he's opening a box.
No, look, it's been a
Y'all.
very it's
y'all are
play-by-play.
Y'all are giving play-by-play of this man getting Reese's out of his thing. Like I enjoy good Reese's.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll just
he sees us.
That's a lot of candy, dog.
Yeah.
I think he felt bad that y'all were like
Oh,
talking.
that man sees us. That man sees us.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
he's coming over here.
Oh.
Let's go, dude.
This
what
is
do we got here?
very
What do we got
exciting.
here? Oh, my
yes.
dog. Yes, sir. Thank
Oh,
you.
the real MVP
Look
of the Senior
at
Bowl
this,
right
dude.
here.
I mean,
Family,
that is
3 bags
My
of Reese's
goodness. Oh,
minis.
yes, we all get our own.
cups. My dog.
Thank
you very much.
Oh,
That is a savior.
yes.
The Candyman can. Hell yeah.
Hey, I do appreciate that he put like the old man candy in front of me.
I love
Mr. Goodbar's fantastic. I love it.
Crackle.
So, Crackle's good too.
Yeah, look, it's a little grab bag of some of your underappreciated chocolates there.
They
Shout
are
out the
like
Senior
Mr.
Bowl, dude.
Goodbar is underappreciated.
Those are so good.
All right, when we get back, more OTB, wrapping up hour 2.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Coleman Roofing and Construction. If you want the most reliable, the most respected, and the most complete roofing company in Louisiana, you want Coleman Roofing and Construction. They've been around since 1982. That's 41 years, and they get a great culture, man. That's really one of the fantastic parts about them. And, they've grown over those decades, and they've had an infusion here recently of youth. They work hard. They do quality work. They give you peace of mind. The customer service is second to none. They like to say they're a big company with a small company feel. And they are big, right? I mean, they can service any commercial job, any residential job, anywhere in Louisiana, anywhere in the Gulf South region, in fact. And remember, I say complete because, like, well, it's rained recently. You had a leak, you had interior damage, any water damage, insulation, drywall, paint. They do it all at Coleman Roofing and Construction.
Go to ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com, Louisiana's most reliable and respected roofing company. And like T-Bob always tells you, they can handle any of your roofing needs. Like, without question, they can get it done. But if you do have a leak, with all the rain we had a couple of weeks ago and some of the interior of your home got messed up, the best part about Coleman is they can come and they can fix both. They can fix the interior of your home and also your roof as well. ColemanRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Senior Bowl Live Mobile, brought to you by the MMR Group. Our trip brought to you by the MMR Group. You see it right there on the header if you're watching on YouTube. Shout out. Apply now at mmrgrp.com for a job. Hey, so we're into the bathroom during that commercial break, and my guy Paul Chestnut, who does great work over there in Pensacola. Actually, shout out to Paul's son, Maddie, who I've been knowing for years. He has cerebral palsy, and Paul and Matt are being put into the Pensacola Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome news. Also, he does a great job at raising awareness. He's just a great guy overall. But they cover the Saints. And word on the street is, Jake, and I think Jeff Nowak might be the original source of this, so credit to Jeff. It's looking like the Saints OC choice may be coming today. That they're starting to, basically text people to get your schedules ready, get ready. There's some impending news.
Well, good. I mean, it's the time.
Do you think that because I know Getsy, the Bears offensive coordinator, he could be the choice anytime. Does that exclude a Clint Kubiak to do it right now?
Probably, right? I mean, it's getting ready for the Super Bowl. I was kind of surprised to see John Lynch yesterday. I was talking with him for a little bit down on the field. Like he's here scouting, and he's like, yeah, I mean, we got a bye week. Like the GM doesn't need to be there. He's like, so I want to come and get my eyes on some of these guys or whatever. But it's in my opinion, it's like, gosh, you got a Super Bowl. You're worried about that. He's like, yeah, but we got draft picks.
Like what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
How do you know Lynch like that?
Okay, so met him at the Cotton Bowl that y'all played. Von Miller that year, A&M. He was doing the sidelines.
Wow.
Went up.
What a rise.
Went up, yeah.
Oh, my
Went up and
gosh.
introduced myself, and he's like, oh, yeah, man, I know who you are. And so we got a chance to talk it out there. In 2008, there was always a rumor that we were going to sign John Lynch in San Diego. He's from San Diego, and, we were looking for a veteran safety.
He was still playing around then? That's crazy to think about. I did not realize that.
And so, it got, down to the wire, and so yesterday I said, hey, man, I've talked to him 3-4 times in my life, but I was like, I've always wanted to ask you because I was a rookie, man. I was so excited. I heard John Lynch might be coming to the Chargers. You were from there. He goes, man, it was right there at the finish line. And A.J. Smith just wouldn't sign off on it. He goes, man, I wanted to play my last year at home too. And I was like, man, that'd have been incredibly cool to play with John Lynch, but man, in great shape. And so we sat there and I said, hey, thank you for your service. He said, use check. I said, yes. Yeah. He's like, man, he goes, that guy's so versatile. He's like, we could line him up honestly like in 7 different spots and he wouldn't be out of place.
What's crazy is that the Niners have built this unbelievable roster, and they did it with wasting massive amount of resources on Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, you think they're freaky now. They could have been significantly more had they not randomly decided to go all in on the Trey Lance train.
I mean, think about that. All the things that they gave up, and that never works out to do anything good for your team if you miss on that pick. And they missed sorely, obviously.
And then they still find ways to get CMC. They still find ways to get Chase Young, like
Trent Williams.
It's crazy how they have managed to amass that roster.
You know, they're a big Senior Bowl draft team as well.
Oh, really?
I don't know. There was a year before y'all came. I was just here with CD and Deebo Samuel's year, whatever year that was. I don't even remember now. It was my first year to do the Senior Bowl, and nobody could cover him. Yeah. And, he was good at South Carolina, but nobody could cover the guy. And that year they drafted something like crazy number of Senior Bowl guys, including Deebo Samuel. They put their work in, right? They don't rest on their laurels by any means. Sure, they missed with Trey Lance, no doubt about it. There was some in the organization that hated that move from the get-go.
Yeah, they kind of felt like that was maybe coming from on high a little bit. You know, we're not pleased with Jimmy G. We need to find an heir apparent.
The word on the street was that Shanahan wanted to trade back in the draft, go back a couple of picks, or maybe even into the second round because he thought he could get Mac Jones in the second round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he thought he could get Mac at that point. He's like, I think he'll – and that makes sense, thinking of Mac's skill set to Brock Purdy's skill set.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's looking for in a quarterback. And he's like, he got shut down, and there's people in the organization that wanted Trey Lance. Not that Mac's tearing it up by any means, but he's a backup. But
No. He wouldn't have been any better either way, but it's better to have a Mac Jones as a second-round pick than 3 first-round picks of Trey Lance. But, I guess, the world giveth and it taketh away because then you get Brock Purdy. And he's awesome, and he's your 7th-round pick, and he's cheap. All right, hour 2 in the books. Hour 3, wrapping up our final hour of coverage here in Mobile, Alabama. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I believe that you should go check out the MMR Group, the largest industrial contractor in the entire country. And you're like, well, T-Bob, I don't need giant industrial contracting work done. Well, no, I mean check it out in terms of employment. If you're a student listening, they work very closely with LSU. There's internships that will send you around the world. You can really set yourself up not just with a job, but with a career. But it's not just students, okay? And boat is not sailed. If you're a new professional, if you're a seasoned vet, you want to work at MMR because the culture is second to none, and that's because culture is at the forefront. They're not selling a product, selling a service. The service is defined by the people. They invest in the people. So apply now at mmrgrp.com.
You can also just go to Google, MMR Baton Rouge, and it'll pull it up in multiple ways to show you careers, locations, different things for them. So go to that website today as well, mmrgrp.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 1st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 68. In hour 3 of today's show, we wrap up our final hour of Senior Bowl coverage, and we'll have our Munchies segment with Chef Michael Johnson at 9:15. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Oh, what's happening, y'all? Last hour here in Mobile, Alabama. Before, Jake will still do off-campus day, 2 to 5 on Sirius XM 84. So we got Snaps going down today, noon to 1. If you want to come hang out, Snaps live today. We got Red Corner, Blue Corner. It's more of a Big Ten show, but if you get Stadium, we're going to go to youtube.com/watch Stadium. That'll be at 1:30. That'll lead into your show, Jake. So you could hang out with us all day.
So the TV at the house, like it doesn't have cable or anything, but it has live channels, and Stadium was one of them.
There you go.
So I was watching Joshua Perry was on with somebody.
Jake Butt?
I know
Devin
Jake.
Gardner?
Maybe so, yeah.
Michigan great, playing quarterback, wearing number 98.
Yeah.
And he's the, I think, 4th leading passer in school history.
Nice.
I did a deep dive on Michigan quarterbacks when there was that news cycle where everybody's like, is J.J. McCarthy the best quarterback in Michigan history?
Right.
And you look it up and you're like, oh, wait, he actually is.
He might be, yeah.
Like,
Drew Henson?
There are no, Henson, Greasy was kind of up there. Like, nobody has ever had overwhelming or dominant numbers as the quarterback of Michigan, which is a bit surprising for how good they've been. Self-awareness says the Saints are locked in on their 28th choice. Look, I kind of agree with Nick's perspective. I know the Saints aren't the most attractive job right now when it comes to being an OC, but it's not like you're ever going to get an OC from one team to come be an OC for your team, so you're always going to have to bet on someone. You're always going to have to upgrade someone. And I don't think it's like you're maybe you've missed out on a couple of guys that wouldn't want to come here, or they took other jobs that you would have won and they chose them over you. But I don't think it's that extreme. Like, I think you can still make a very good hire here.
Maybe it's Ronald Curry. I mean, maybe it's just as easy as that.
Yeah.
Maybe they took a look at all the candidates. Double-digit guys that they interviewed.
They cast a very wide net, which credit to them. You know, do your due diligence. The timing of it isn't perfect, as Jeff Ireland was kind of talking about how, you know, scouting is informed by who the choice is going to be, but it's also not like disastrous or anything.
Whoever it is going to have a lot of pressure. They're going to have a lot of pressure. They're going to be viewed in a different light than most offensive coordinators in the NFL.
Yeah, they will have a lot of pressure. Again, though, I think they'll have they do have some advantages, though, right? I know everything feels bad about the Saints now. If you don't believe in Dennis Allen, there's not going to be anything that's going to make you feel good. But, again, you have weapons. And you have an organization that wants to try to maximize the quarterback. So they will give you draft capital. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe they end up going with that cornerback from Toledo because, you know, everybody drafts through a mixture of best available and needs. And so, like, maybe that's where you end up. But certainly, as we said, the Saints are all in on making Carr work, which means that they will make decisions with that in mind. And so maybe that means investing in offensive line. Maybe that means investing in receivers, free agents, whatever the case may be. Whoever the OC is can at least know that, while Dennis Allen is very defensive-minded, that he still has to really focus on trying to make the offensive side of the ball work.
It'd be interesting to see what weapons they'll have, obviously, with the Mike Thomas tweets and what they're going to do there. You have Chris Olave, you have Rashid Shaheed. Even like an A.T. Perry, I think, flashed enough to be in the conversation.
I always forget about A.T. Perry, yes.
Yeah, being in the conversation of being your three.
Nice
Juwan Johnson had a heck of a run there at the end of the season, right? Huge game against Tampa Bay, and can he stay healthy? You got pieces. I mean, you got a lot of guys you spend a lot of resources on the offensive line. Like, that would be job number one for my new OC. We've drafted these guys in the first round. You got to get the most out of them. I mean, Derek Carr is a large portion of it, but I think if you fix the offensive line, that helps Carr a little bit.
Somebody says trade up and take Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I mean, obviously that would be the dream. Because some people will try to tell you that some of the Jaden Daniels hype or draft hype is not true, and that he's still going to drop to the teens or something. If by some miracle, which this will not happen, but if by some miracle the Saints are drafting and Jaden Daniels is on the board, I don't give a damn what your even scouting opinion of him would be. You have to take it just out of principle alone. Like, you cannot let that opportunity go by. The potential, I mean, you want to sell tickets? The potential if Jaden Daniels ends up being a great NFL quarterback and he's doing it in New Orleans, it would be massive. It would be up there with the Michael Vick era of Atlanta, which I will tell you was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, I grew up in it. I saw it. I watched it firsthand. I cheered for it even. And so, yeah, if he's somehow there, that card should be in instantaneously. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
But again, that's another conversation we were kind of having last night.
Yeah, I would be completely shocked if he fell past 6. Like, 6 feels like the basement floor for Jaden. Could you get up from 14 to 6? Like, if he was still there? Like, if the Chargers went, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors at 5, the Giants are sitting there at 6.
Who would you want, Bowers or Malik?
I mean, I'd love Malik.
Yeah.
I'm probably biased in that, but I've never seen a receiver have a plan when he catches the ball like Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wasted movement. There's no, let me jump back real quick and assess the situation. It is a plan to go north-south, and I love it. I think it's got a violence to it that you don't really see at the receiver position.
How about this? Where do you think Pete Carmichael Jr. went after leaving the New Orleans Saints?
I'm going to say probably somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, probably Denver Broncos.
Yes, you would be correct. 2 weeks after his exit from the New Orleans Saints, Pete Carmichael Jr. set to reunite with Sean Payton as a new member of the Denver Broncos coaching staff. I don't think we know exactly what his role will be, but yes, Sean Payton continues to take in his old partners and try to remake the New Orleans Magic in Denver. Sean Payton's gotta make this thing work, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, his resume will forever be great because he's a Super Bowl champion. Yeah. But if you wanted to poke holes in it,
he don't want to fall into the Brady Belichick conversation.
That's what I was going to say. That's
Breeze
what I was
Payton
conversation.
I
don't want to take wholly away because obviously he ended on top. Like, the Saints were awesome. They got that second juiced run from the 2017 draft, and they were awesome. But he has a little bit of that Belichick stank on him right now where, it takes two to tango. But certainly in Belichick's case, it looks like Brady was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And in Peyton's case, he has to try to prove that it was not Drew Brees doing the heavy lifting. And he's going to get out from underneath Russell Wilson. They're expected to move on there. So I'll be – because, again – Sean kind of feels, which is crazy because he's always so young, but he feels a bit old, right? Because he is now. But he feels like potentially is he still at the forefront of offensive theory? We'll see. We'll see. He needs to have a good year next year, I believe. But shout out Pete Carmichael, landing on his feet.
I wonder where he goes at quarterback, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's true, right? He has to have a good year, but, who the hell is going to play quarterback? It's not a good place
Russ
to be.
is broken. Russ was fraudulent, in my opinion. I know he had some good years, but you got to move on from that. I mean, there's too much friction. And
they benched him at the end of the year. That's
it's 2 years in a row now where he's not been great. Two different systems, two different coaches.
Self-awareness says, I think Mel Kiper's right, and Washington builds around Daniels. Wait, here's my question. What's going on with Eric Bieniemy?
I don't know.
I was thinking about that today. We're sitting here talking about OC and just nobody mentions Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
I do not understand. I do not understand that at all. The other thing I don't understand that's been chattered about here is J.J. McCarthy really viewed above Penix?
ESPN.com's got him as 4.
What?
Yeah. I had to pull it up.
But why?
Look, I'll pull it up right now. But why? Tell me why.
JJ's solid. Don't get me wrong. Is it just the medical thing?
Look, Mel Kiper has Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt, Jordan Travis.
Well, you can expect, I think, Bo Nix and Penix to obviously flip after this week.
I think Spencer Rattler might even go ahead of Bo after this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But, I do not understand that with JJ. And JJ's really good and really efficient, but the arm talent doesn't even seem close. I mean, have we ever really seen JJ throw consistently into tight windows?
No.
Down the field?
I mean, he hasn't had to, but we've never seen it.
No, and also in not having to, he's been in a very quarterback-friendly system, right? That's crazy to me. Self-awareness. Eric Bieniemy is Pete Carmichael, a great OC for a head coach who really runs the offense, but not a good standalone. Is that true, though? He had Sam Howell leading the league in passing this year. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if we've seen enough to say that. But for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to be getting run. So, maybe you're right and I'm wrong. Greg Lamont, I can't believe people try to give the Heisman to Nix. True. Big true.
Oh, man, y'all almost had to interview him after y'all were talking smack about him.
I know. I felt bad when he walked by. I was like, I actually don't want you to sit there. I mean, we'll do it. It'd be great. It'd be good for the show.
It was just content, But the weirdest part was this. I walk up, to the intern, and I'm like, hey, does he have somewhere to be after this interview that he's doing right next to us? And she was like, he told me that he's only willing to do one interview.
One interview a day?
See,
that's what? You're trying to impress people here. That is not impressive.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, that's
bad, Bo.
That's not
because we remember
him.
And
then I feel like Jake did not like that at all. So then Jake started doing that thing.
Yeah.
He was talking about him kind of just loud enough.
No, both of you hit the earpiece in.
T-Bob did shush me.
Yeah, T-Bob.
I was like,
T-Bob 100% shushed Jake.
Chill out.
That kind of stuff bothers me.
That bothered me.
Like Bo, look, you're here, and this is one of the things that you do here, okay? And you've had a good college career, whatever, and to like an event like this, like you do any media that is available here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only going to do one interview. Like, what?
I know.
When like Michael Penix Jr.
Yes.
has been walking around doing every single hit that everybody's
and
asked him
doing
to do.
them sincerely and
Sam Hartman sat down with everybody.
Yeah.
Schrader sat down with everybody. Keegan from Michigan has sat down with everybody. Everybody has. So, I don't know. We'll see, Bo.
How's Roman Wilson look this week? Awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, you saw it yesterday. I mean, he's on the field and calls out the Toledo corner that everybody has just been hooting and hollering about. And at the end of every practice, it's like a competition type deal. And they call a receiver or they call a linebacker. Hey, call out. Who do you want one-on-one? Roman Wilson, like, called out the kid from Mitchell from Toledo. He's like, him. All right. And he went out there and he ran like a quick out. He pushed it vertical, and a lot of times in one-on-ones, like if you push it vertical like that, you're like, he's trying to run past me. He pushed it vertical, went wide enough to make him think he was going to try to run past him, put his foot in the ground. Penix didn't throw the best ball. I think the timing was off a little bit, but he threw it behind Roman Wilson.
Which makes sense on an out like that.
Yeah,
right?
And he reaches back and catches it with one hand, tiptoes 2 feet in.
Ooh,
it was a nasty play, yeah. So he's had a big week. Receiver has been the position to me that has really stood out this week. Lab McConkey, Ricky Pearsall, Roman Wilson, multiple players. I mean, we could go on and on. Tulane's got a receiver here that's really shined. So that's been the position that I think has actually helped themselves the most.
All right. When we get back, let's do some munchies with our guy, Chef Michael Johnson. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com, right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. You need purlin, you need tubing, you need steel, you need sheet metal. Go get it to the place to make it all there on site, okay? Again, local company, live and local sales team. You form a relationship. They serve your needs, be they business needs or personal needs. And you get it at the best prices because they get the steel direct from the wholesaler. They make the product. No middlemen jacking up the price for you on the back end. So go touch it, sniff it, feel it, squeeze it. Over there in Gonzales, Louisiana, Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com.
When you go to the website, the very top right corner of the site, it says Community Steel. You can click on that. It's going to pull up a map of exactly where they're at in Gonzales, Louisiana. Like T-Bob said, you can go see it for yourself. He says sniff it. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but if you want to.
Lick it.
Sure.
I used to lick belt buckles.
Don't do that.
In the car.
Don't do that. Don't go licking metal, but you can go see them for any of your steel needs over there. 225-647-2020, communitysteelco.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? We are live here in Mobile, Louisiana, brought to you by the MMR Group. And right now it's Thursday at 9:15, which means it's time for some munchies with Chef Michael Johnson. Chef, what's going on, bruh? We just had multiple giant family-sized bags of Reese's dropped off in front of us, and the Value For It YouTube chat wants to know, Chef, what is your favorite candy?
Gosh, that's a good one. I'm a pretty big fan of Reese's, but I like dark chocolate as a whole. I'm just a fan of dark chocolate, and like 70% dark chocolate if I'm gonna be real bougie on the radio right now. Yeah.
Do you eat, like, if you're eating like a very dark, is it slightly bitter? Like, are you just eating it straight up, or are you like using it in things?
No, yeah, like I like they have a place that it's called Chocolopolis in Seattle that they sell chocolate bars.
Yeah.
And like they have like a sea salt and cayenne, I think, or something of that nature.
Chili.
It's salty. Oh man, it's just tasty. So just a bar.
Hashtag munchies. If you had a choice between eating body sushi off of T-Bob after he works out or eating Piccadilly with Jacob Hester, which you choose?
Gosh, I'm going to Piccadilly, brother, with a smile on my face.
Bro, what do you mean, dude? Right after I worked out, I'd be all salty. I'd like add a nice little taste to it.
Yeah. You're not supposed to have condiments with sushi, so.
Hashtag munchies. What protein and veggies should I put in my fried rice tonight?
I like pork in mine. you guys know that. I like fried pork and browned off really well. But carrots. I mean, when it comes to fried rice, I'm pretty standard. I'm pretty basic with it.
So what is it, like carrots, peas, what?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Hashtag munchies. What's Chef's favorite thing to make using dark chocolate?
We used to do this platter when I worked for the Seahawks that we did chocolate dipped chilies, potato chips, popcorn, stuff like that. I like to play around with it a little bit, to be honest with you, man. Just kind of experience different, complex, contrasts, right? Like sweet and spicy, salty and sweet, stuff like that. Now, I don't know about sour, but I do like spicy chilies and chocolate are exceptional together.
Hashtag munchies. What's your opinion on food waste? Now they go on to say, especially in low-level kitchens where workers don't really care. I don't know if that's derogatory or not. I know it's a very broad question, but what's your opinion on food waste?
I hate it, brother. It irritates the hell out of me. So I don't know if you guys know this about me or not, but I'm a very sustainability-minded human being. I'm actually walking into Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries as we speak to go talk to them about the Poggy vote. I have a digester in my kitchen for food scraps that are not edible.
Oh, wow.
That digests and puts that into the wastewater stream so that it digests and it doesn't go to the dump. In other words, so it produces carbon gases. I've got, like we have a program where we take food scraps off of plates that have been eaten off of and send it to a black soldier fly program that they turn it into frass, and you can use that frass to put in your garden, and then the black soldier flies can be fed to chickens and produces a higher protein value chicken. Food waste is not necessary, and like when you can compost and when you can, we take food scraps from vegetables and make stocks, and then we take that and put it in the compost. Nothing should ever make it in a trash can, brother, ever. And there's no give on that in my opinion.
Hell yes, dude. Hashtag Munchies, best brand of double aught flour for making pizza.
There's a couple of them out there. I'm drawing a blank now, but there's a couple of imported Italian companies that make exceptional double aught that, in reality, like if it's imported from Italy, they're doing it with a purpose, right? So,
hashtag Munchies, what is your favorite wild game to cook?
Oh man, I think it's just seasonal, right? Like whatever, like deer season, it's going to be deer. Duck season, it's going to be, and if I'm sitting in the stand, I kind of tend to gear towards duck and deer as a Louisianan, but to me, like fish are wild game to some degree, and I love fishing and eating fresh seafood too. So any of those are gonna suffice for me.
What is your go-to fish, Chef? Because
red snapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he was quick
Yeah.
with it.
He was.
Yeah. No, that's not necessarily my favorite fish, but that's my go-to fish. Like,
what's the favorite?
That's what we stick. A strawberry grouper. So it's
bro, those things are tasty.
Oh my God, man! It's just.
What'd you make us? Steelhead trout?
What?
What do you make us?
Yeah, what did you make us?
Steelhead. Yeah.
Sorry, Chef. Talk about strawberry grouper. I feel like you wanted to expound a bit upon your love.
No, I went on a charter fishing trip when I was younger. Like in my mid-20s, and the captain, I caught this little strawberry grouper, and the captain came over to me and kind of nudged me in the ribs and said, "You might want to put that one in your pocket." And I said, "Really?" He said, "You won't ever eat a fish as good as that thing." And I did. I took it home. I didn't put it in my pocket, but I made sure that thing made it home with me. And it was an exceptionally, like it's a smaller fish. They eat exceptionally well. I don't know. It's a pretty fish as well, but
it is.
I don't know. It's something special. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies, spicy mayo or eel sauce? God, I love eel sauce, dude.
Can we have both? I like eel sauce.
I love both.
Too.
True.
Yeah.
What is eel sauce made of? Is that umami?
I'm not really sure,
what's that flavor profile? Is that umami?
Yeah, it's definitely umami for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and as we're talking about it, we if you've ever had fresh wasabi, like made from the wasabi plant versus the powdered crap, there's something to make a decision on. Like I'm going fresh wasabi every time.
So Kano, I was trying to remember a few weeks ago when we were talking wasabi. Kano is that place in New Orleans that makes fresh wasabi. I think that's the only time I've ever had it, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Bilbo says, hashtag Munchies, are those meat grinder attachments on the stand-up mixing bowls worth it, or should I buy a separate meat grinder?
So that's a good question. Like meat grinders they're slow to stop, right? And for me, like I want something that stops immediately in case, like if you're using the grinder to also stuff sausage, you want to have the ability to stop quickly so that you don't tear. A lot of people buy the sausage stuffer, and that's a separate thing. I do like the ability to use one piece of equipment for several things. So I'm not going to say it's not worth its money. We use ours for that, so we don't have to buy a secondary piece of equipment that only has a specific use. So in that nature, yes, I do think it's worth its money.
Hashtag Munchies. Would Chef wild hog hunt in Texas from a helicopter?
I would do it. Yeah, for sure. In the dark even, you know what I mean? Like, I'd give it to me.
Yeah, I agree. And to be fair to Ryan Smith earlier, who asked a question about food waste, he said, "Yeah, no, nothing derogatory. I used to work at a low-level kitchen, so that's why I know, unfortunately, how some of the places will treat food waste." Hashtag Munchies. With Baton Rouge having a local butcher and now a local baker, what would you like to see come to Baton Rouge next?
It has nothing to do with food. It has to do with compost. Like Baton Rouge needs some sustainability efforts above and beyond what it already has. We need the ability to send our food scraps to some place and have it turned to compost and have it like it's a marketable deal. It's a profitable deal. I don't understand why nobody's done it yet. But our restaurants need a place to take their inedible, unusable food waste so that it's not going to the trash and it's not going to the dump and it's not producing these carbon gases, in that nature. And honestly, one of the most prevalent injuries in a restaurant is a lifting strain from lifting garbage cans that are full of, trash and food. It has a lot of water weight in it, and that thus it makes the trash can heavy. And there's ways to eliminate the water from your trash. Not only that, you pay for your trash by the pound. When they pick up your trash, you pay by the pound in the restaurant business. And so if you can remove all that heavy, watery, food waste from your trash, you don't have to pick up your trash can as often. I mean, you can save money for it. That's what our digester is for, is it diverts all that weight away from the waste stream, and it pays for itself in a return on investment within 2 years. People can't say that it's about money anymore because there's solutions out there to resolve it. And, we need something more towards composting, if you ask me.
Wow. I mean, I've learned so much today. I mean, I know we do every week, but I had no idea about any of this. Is there some sort of like big trash, like barrier of entry here or something?
I'm not sure what it is. I think some of it has to do with land space. Okay. Honestly, like Louisiana, land is at a premium.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of want and need. I mean, just as a whole, Louisiana is not a very sustainably minded state, and I think we're behind the ball on that. It's just a matter of educating our kids, I think, and getting a younger generation to understand this and look at it and realize the value behind it and do something about it.
Hashtag Munchies. What is the easiest food to grow at home in Baton Rouge?
Tomatoes are super easy. Like you can tomato in the ground down there and let it grow. Potatoes are pretty easy. You got to be careful of potatoes because of the water if the rain isn't correct. But tomatoes and peppers are super easy. Squash grows super easy. And I say this under a normal growing circumstance, not last year's drought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any of that corn, like sweet corn grows pretty tolerant. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the compost and everything you're talking about. It's such an agricultural state that there wouldn't be more of that there. So who knows, man? Maybe we can help lead to some change there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Chef, hey, you have a great day. Enjoy your talk with Wildlife and Fisheries. You are the absolute best. And we will talk to you again next week here on OTB.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, you too, Chef Michael Johnson, Executive Chef of LSU Athletics, the legend, man. He is awesome, obviously, and wow, very interesting stuff there in terms of recycling and composting and everything. Hey, I want you to go to Rejuve Me Medical, RejuveMeMedical.com. You can feel younger, better, faster, stronger. Rejuve Me Medical. If you're feeling like a senior, but you want to feel like you should be at the Senior Bowl, you should go to Rejuve Me because you basically all they do is treat the untreated effects of aging, right? And that is, I don't know why we don't think about doing that more, right? Like we're just supposed to age naturally when now we have the technology to help ourselves stay feeling good. And maybe it's semaglutide, maybe it's HRT, maybe it's just B vitamin shots, maybe it's none of these things. What I can guarantee you if you go get that free consultation, get your labs drawn, is you're going to learn about your body. And they're going to customize a plan for you to get you where you want to be. Rejuve Me Medical.
RejuveMeMedical.com, top right corner of the website. Get that consultation set up like T-Bob's talking about. So many different things that you can be dealing with, and they can help you get to the bottom of it and get you on a path to feeling like your more youthful self. RejuveMeMedical.com or RejuveMeMedical.com.
Look at this headline from denversports.com. The Broncos should aggressively pursue Taysom Hill this offseason. You know Sean loves getting the band back together. Just did it with Pete Carmichael. And you know what's funny is, like, Peyton wasn't really there for the true flourishing of his vision for Taysom Hill. Let's talk about it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyota of batonrouge.com, y'all, where, look, if you need, if you get an accident and you need a body shop, you need your car service, whatever it is, go check out the All-Star Service Center. You get your free professional estimate, incredible lines of communication. They have the shuttle service. They also have rental cars right there on site. Just talk to Miss Lee Sessions. Cheaper per-day rental prices than your traditional rental companies. So go let Aaron Piku and the boys and girls at All-Star get you in your vehicle, right? You mentioned Off the Bench, Jake or T-Bob or any of that. You get $100 towards that deductible. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Once you go to the website, you'll see that they've got something for everybody. Sequoia, if you're looking for that full-size SUV. They've got the Tundra. They've got the Tacoma if you're looking for a truck. Sienna for that minivan life like T-Bob 2 times over. Highlander, 4Runner if you're looking for a midsize SUV. Multiple sedans, multiple hybrids. They have something for everybody. If you're buying new, if you're leasing, and, yes, if you are renting per-day rental prices, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it.
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. As we teased before the break, the Denver media starting to put it out there in the ether that Sean Payton should continue his reunion tour by aggressively pursuing Taysom Hill. And look, I mean, it makes sense. As the article points out, well, Denver really, since Peyton Manning, has struggled to score touchdowns, like on a super consistent basis. Like, the offense has not been good. In Taysom Hill, you have somebody with 27 career rushing touchdowns, 11 receiving, 11 passing, which, again, is kind of actually amazing, considering that's all come just in the last few years, and it comes with very limited reps. You just brought Pete Carmichael back. Pete Carmichael has certainly learned, even though we had our quibbles with him about not using Hill enough at times, he has learned how to use Hill more and more effectively over time, it would see. And, Jake, I mean, I think Sean Payton's got to kind of feel some type of way because he caught some flack initially for his vision for Hill.
Yeah.
And it never quite came to fruition when he was here. But then after he left, Hill has eventually become the role that he always thought he would be. What do you think? Do you think Denver would go after Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I think anybody that was a part of the Saints organization while Sean Payton was there, like, is on the table. Right?
Yeah.
He feels like he just, like, wants to get the band back together a little bit. And then, like, it's no surprise that Pete Carmichael goes there, and there's no surprise how much he loves Taysom Hill, right? And so when you look at Taysom, he had 400 rushing yards a year ago. He had almost 300 receiving yards. He's actually a very willing blocker as a tight end. You can run trick plays with him, throwing the football as well. There's a lot of value there, and it was his vision, right? He gets him from the practice squad at Green Bay. He feels like he can do everything that Taysom has been able to do, and he thinks he can probably get it to another level. He gave him the money, right? He gives him the bag there. So that would be, like, no surprise whatsoever. I'm not saying that he would pick him to be the quarterback that replaces Russell Wilson, but I think he would use him in the jack of all trades, and there would be some quarterback plays for him. And so if it happened, would not be shocked at all. Now, do the Saints want to give up Taysom Hill?
Yeah. I mean, look, let's be clear, right? The Saints, he's owed $10 million each of the next 2 seasons, $10 million a year. None of it's guaranteed for whatever that's worth. I think the big question for the Saints, Jake, would be with the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Which we're expected to get news about today. Do you see a world where he shows up and he's just not into the idea of Taysom Hill?
Certain coordinators, I think, yeah. He'd be like, well, I don't really see him as a tight end. I don't really see him as a back or a quarterback or a receiver. Like, I don't know what he'd be in my offense. I don't have anything like that in my offense. Yeah, absolutely. If you're a coordinator that I am a core 12 personnel guy with 2 true tight ends, a Y and an F, and Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson, like, those are the guys that I see playing tight end here. Yeah, then you can be like, you know what? This new offensive coordinator is not going to use him. Like we talked about yesterday. All right, here's the 10 traits. Rate the 10 traits. Like, where does Taysom's skill set fall on these traits? And if they're low, all right, let's move him to Denver.
I'd be interested to see, right? I doubt the Saints would ever just release him outright. That seems crazy to me. In fact, I doubt that they would let him go. I was about to say, I doubt that they would let him go anyway. I mean, he scores touchdowns. You've had red zone issues. Now, granted, they got better at the end of the year, but he's just a red zone threat, which matters in this league. He is very good at finding ways to get
800 total yards.
Yeah. I don't think you get rid of Hill. But trading, he is 33.
Oh, you're not getting, I mean,
if somebody's
you're not getting a lot back. You'll get something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would have to be a really nice offer for me to want to entertain that. The Bunny Money says, well, damn, send Mickey Loomis and Mike Thomas over there then. Well, Mike might go over there because Mike ain't coming back to New Orleans. He's been very honest about how he feels on Twitter.
And we don't have time today to really get into it. I know I've seen some people upset about his tweets and different things. That's just somebody trying to get out of town because he sees who the quarterback is. He sees it as his quickest pass. So you might say that it's immature of him. Sure, whatever. He knows what he has to do to get out of town, and he doesn't believe that he can be the receiver or the team can be the team with Derek Carr at quarterback.
Bro, how about our guy Dem Snow at AEW last night? Hanging out with Gypsy Rose. Mario was with him. Great seeing Mario. Mario looks like maybe working over at Spread Quarters now.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam.
Right in front.
Yes, doing the finisher into him. That was crazy, dude. Because Dev is I'm pretty sure he tweeted something along the lines of like, "I can die happy now."
Yeah.
I mean, he is a wrestling fanatic, an obsessive. And so to have Rob Van Dam do that right there, it's such a good video. You should go check it out at Snow Like John. He actually gets knocked over by the move on the ground. Dev does, and you can see just this look of pure adrenaline in his face. He's so excited, so pumped up. Looks like AEW put on a pretty good show. Shout out our guy Deb, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo, hcmsports.com/shop if you want to get that Mardi Gras gear, y'all. And a shout out to the MMR group for continuing to provide us this wonderful coverage. It's been a great week here in Mobile that we will wrap up next on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. It's not just 225, though. It's 318. It's 337. It's 504. It's 985. Any area code that you have, and then the 8s, and you get in touch with Gordon McKernan. And Gordon's going to fight for you against the big insurance company to get you what you deserve. Follow him on social media at Get Gordon. You can stay up to date with the latest from your favorite athletes and the G team. You can also learn what steps you should take immediately after you get in an accident. Get Gordon and get it done.
GetGordon.com is the website, and you can find past client results, cases they can handle for you. Like all the information in the courtroom is on the website, GetGordon.com. What they can do in the community, they're always doing something in the community. At Get Gordon is always going to be that handle on all major social media. T-Bob said it already. Your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up
Live from the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl, Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, let's do a little housekeeping here. Welcome back to OTB on 104.5 ESPN, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Like, subscribe, all that. A huge, massive thank you to the MMR Group for sponsoring our trip here in Mobile. It's been fantastic. A huge, massive thank you to Rivers Huey, who has been our on-site producer this entire week, and a huge, massive thank you to Alondra and Taylor back home, who have done an excellent job of, keeping the show going, dealing with some technical difficulties at times. It is always fun. And finally, a huge, massive thank you to the city of Mobile, to Roosevelt, to Jim Nagy, and the Senior Bowl, and the Candyman for bringing us these Reese's mini cups.
I mean,
earlier.
is anyone else going to eat this candy?
They're everywhere.
Wrapping it up.
They went and put it on everybody's table. I'm going to take the commies. I'm going to take the Ask the Bench in a second. First, I do want to remind you, Pace Plus Urgent Care. Been feeling a little under the weather myself this week. When I get back, if this continues, Pace Plus visit's going to be in the docket. It's going to show up. A couple tippy taps on the iPad. I'm going to be signed in because their digital profile system. And then I'm going to get in and get better. And for life's unexpected moments, you and your family can as well. Check out the Pace Plus membership, where you can pay all up front. You can pay by month. But bottom line is, you go twice in a calendar year, you're coming out ahead, and you get unlimited visits, y'all. So cold season, flu season, weather's being all crazy like, you want Patient Plus. Pace Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Life, Yard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. Ask the Bench, who's the biggest celeb you have come across at the Senior Bowl?
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, this year, not too much celeb power. I mean, probably Dan Marino, would you say, that one time, Jake?
Yeah, John Lynch feels like a good one.
He's not nothing for sure.
Kalen
He's
DeBoer
not
was
nothing for sure.
Yeah,
What a way to be described.
He's an NFL Hall of Famer as a player, and he's a GM of a Super Bowl team.
No doubt.
Nothing for
Kalen
sure.
DeBoer had a lot of fanfare because we're in the state of Alabama.
That was pretty crazy.
So he had a bunch of fanfare yesterday.
People were foaming.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing somebody, but yeah.
Ask the Bench, has anyone ran into Jerry Jones whilst in Mobile?
I saw him.
You did?
This year?
Yeah.
Where was he?
At
the game?
No, it was we were picking up Rick from the Renaissance last night.
Okay.
He was getting dropped off there. Of course, he didn't have a phone until finally yesterday, but he still didn't have a phone, so we were trying to locate him. I was going to put out a silver alert if we couldn't find him, but I saw Jerry Jones walking around.
Are y'all back in Baton Rouge tomorrow? Are you staying in Mobile through the weekend? Ask the Bench. We are back in BTR tomorrow. Greg Lamont asked the Bench, can OTB get a lawyer on it explain how schools can stay in compliance with Title IX and also pay football players directly? I mean, I wouldn't cross that bridge until we get there. Also, what do you mean by schools paying players directly? Because they're not paying players directly right now.
No, it's done through collectives.
Are we talking, maybe if you're talking like in the future when it comes to like revenue sharing, that's like a bridge I'd rather not get into. That's so dense. I don't want to go too far there until it actually happens, and then we'll get the lawyer on to offer their litigious advice.
Litigious. You like that. I know you do.
You used a word last night that was good.
Pillory. Used
Yes.
it twice on the show today.
Yeah.
Pillory?
Pillory. It's, I think of it kind of like mocking or attacking. I can't remember. We looked it up.
Something like
it's
that.
along
Yeah.
those lines.
You definitely. I don't care what you say. You have one of the calendars where you flip it every day and it has a word of the day. I don't believe anything else.
You know when it was discovered was my love of vocab was like freshman year English class for SAT prep.
Mm-hmm.
We had these vocab tests every Tuesday, and right before the test, I'd sit there in the lunchroom with flashcards and just like cram for it. And I don't know. Like, it's very visceral in my head. I just like, God, I love this. And superfluous is one of those words I was like, yeah.
This is it.
This is it. This is my thing. This is what I'm into. It's like when I saw that exotic dancer suck her own nipple that one time. Hashtag Ask the
That was
Bitch.
such an aggressive turn. What a way to end the week here in Mobile.
Ask the Bitch. Who's the biggest celeb you have come agree? Oh,
You
wait,
already
I asked
had
that.
did you throw yourself off?
Are you flummoxed right now?
Okay,
Okay.
Jake. Ask the Bench. How excited are you for Cajun-omics this year? Oh, I can't wait. Cajun-omics is the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
That baseball fans.
Baseball
together.
fans,
Very
yeah.
fun. Very fun. Very cool.
They were like, "Hey, don't run this for us." Remember?
I know, but I'm not. People are dumb. Ask the Bench. Did y'all tour the battleship yet? We have never actually done that, dude.
No. We didn't, look. I'll say this: we don't have a lot of free time. Like so.
Yeah. True.
We get here 7 to 10 immediately. Like we head to practice.
Yeah.
And then we go to practice and we watch all 3 hours like of practice that we can. T-Bob does his show like literally in between those practices, and then I do mine 2 to 5 from practice. And then like by the time you break everything down and you get everything to the car, it's like almost 6.
Yeah.
And then you've been working for 12 hours, which is fine. Like not scared of hard work, but it's like you don't want to go tour the battleship after 12
I
hours
feel you.
of
It's
work.
not like I every year I'm like I'm going to the Science Museum this year. I'm going to see what it's about, the Exploratorium, and we've still never made it.
We can't even get to the rooftop.
No, can't get to the rooftop or the pool. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Does anyone watch the East-West Shrine game on NFL Network? Poor man's Senior Bowl?
No, the NFL's trying to put a lot of money into it. They're
Yeah.
trying to back it because they don't like the fact that the Senior Bowl's in Mobile, and they're trying to get Jim to move the game out of Mobile. He doesn't want to, and so they're kind of trying to pressure the Senior Bowl by, backing the East-West Shrine. The roster last year in the Shrine game was much better than it was this year, and the NFL is trying to get like Jared Verse and Keon Coleman to go to the Shrine game. They're not on the roster. They're just
hell
there.
out of here, NFL.
They're
Chill
just
out,
there
dude.
like on the
Mobile's
sideline
awesome.
to make it act like they're playing in the game. They didn't play in the game. They didn't practice. And so, no, the Senior Bowl's roster, much better than the Shrine game this year. So, NFL, go fly kite.
Yeah, I agree. I am Senior Bowl till I die. Ask the Bench. Devin Snow was on AEW Dynamite last night in the front row. No, I know. We talked about it. He had his life dream come true having RVD hit the I guess he doesn't do the RKO. No, not the RKO. That was, I don't know. My brain's broken.
RKO was...
That's Brock Lesnar?
Randy
Or no,
Orton.
John Cena?
No.
Randy Orton.
Randy
No,
Orton.
Randy Orton.
there she
Oh,
is.
there we go, Elijah. Thank
God,
you.
I could see Randy Orton. I couldn't get him. I could not get there.
All right.
All I could think was Kyle.
That'll
Orton.
do it for us.
And it wasn't him.
Baton Rouge
Kyle,
Finest.
yeah.
We love you. We'll see you next week.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation.